All right, there we go. Track 1.
I'm
Oh
tired.
my gosh.
I'm getting wagged on.
It's better than get peed on.
Yes.
He's
But
so
only
mean
just.
looking.
It's off and pissed on.
All right, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Dog is in place. Previously in Collais. I wrote it out this time, so I did not forget.
I just realized how much cheating we could do without you seeing it underneath this table.
Cheating.
Cheating? What
Yeah.
are you gonna
How do you
do?
cheat at D&D?
I don't know.
Okay.
You can see
It's
the
a
past
20,
notes.
just believe me.
It's a 20.
Yeah.
That's the other deal. No, yeah, you gotta confirm rolls with the person next to you. Or you could just conspire against me, it's fine. It's
I was
whatever.
gonna say, you would get me on that.
She'll
The
never get
treant.
suspicious.
Aethys awoke and informed you all that all of the other treants beside him had been dead or captive, as far as he knew, for the past 50 years. Quoth, tells former mentor, helped you all get into the Feywild, but was not seen again after you entered it. A young fairy named Brixie and her fairy dragon, Mon Mon, knew where you were, knew how to find you, collected you to bring you to the Seelie Queen. And then on the way, you all were attacked by blink dogs and displacer beasts under the control of the mysterious keeper. That is where we left off. Does anybody have any questions or any fan theories about what's coming next?
In the sense of travel and time, does it feel like we're moving? Because I remember I like ran around in circles a lot.
That's a good question. Distance, as far as you can tell in any direction, you know that there's the forest behind you. In the distance off to your right, we'll call it your right, you can see the dark spot. Yeah, well, I mean, I go dark. Well, it's hard. You can't say east. Where's the sun? How do you measure east? There is no sun.
Oh. Did we know that?
Yes. The entire Feywild is encased in a perpetual twilight. So it's like the sun is constantly setting. There are brighter spots and darker spots. So, maybe physics don't apply here. Maybe it's magic. Who knows? Off to your right, at a far distance, there is the dark spot that you understand, Brixie has kind of explained, holds the Unseelie. Like, it's the Unseelie territory. Off to your left is more of these plains, and then in front of you are more of these rolling hills. All right, behind you, forest, plains, rolling hills, where the light doesn't touch. All right, so following the attack by the displacer beasts and the blink dogs, Brixie, having been knocked down during the combat, gets up, brushes herself off, scrambles over to Mon Mon. Mon Mon, no, are you okay? She wraps the fairy dragon up in her arms and pets it. He is a bit wounded, but if I remember right, you had healed him a bit, so his wounds are already starting to close up. The bleeding is stopping. She stands back up. I can't believe something like this would happen out here in this territory. Whoever's after you must really want you.
We don't know who's necessarily after us. We have a hunch it has to do with these purple crystals that are on the heads of the animals, and we took these from...
Purple crystals.
Yeah. I pulled one out.
Okay. Mon Mon kind of hovers over and starts like licking, sniffing, pawing at your hand, almost like he's trying to consume the crystal. Just like, like he's curiously like nibbling at it.
I don't think it's
Brixie
edible.
starts to pull him away. Mon Mon,
If
no,
it
no,
is, it's
no.
not going to pass very well.
2 minutes in, first poop joke. All right.
Dirty shit.
So you're saying I'm late.
The session was feeling a little constipated. Brixie pulls Mon Mon back. Mon Mon, no, that's not for you. That's not yours. She takes the shards of the crystal, holds it up, and looks through it. The light, as it were, passes through it. Where did you get these? Who do they belong to?
We don't know. They came off of a hybrid creature that we fought in our world. They were also on the treant Aethys.
Yeah.
The treant?
Oh,
They're
The walking tree thingy.
You had a treat?
Yeah.
oh yeah, she's doing it.
It helped guide us here.
It did.
Yes.
Is that bad?
You see her mind racing.
What was the riddle? Between a cloud and a rock or something.
You gotta. I'm sure somebody's got it written down almost verbatim.
It's me. I've got it written down.
Both of you.
It's also you. You probably also have it written down almost verbatim. The riddle, the riddle as you call it, emphasis on as you call it. The riddle was that there is a stone and there is a tree. Between the stone and the tree, there is a cloud. You have to get across the cloud from the stone to the tree. That was the
Riddle.
riddle.
That was a riddle.
Not metaphor. No, not metaphor. Riddle. Riddle. Okay.
Close enough. Zero's blindfolder. It's still out there. Card. Oh yeah, we may need that.
Well, if you found a treant, then we need to get to my master double quick. Let's go.
What do you know about them?
Think that's
The
plan?
treants?
Yeah.
Well, there haven't been any
Surprise!
for a long time.
Where have they been?
I don't know. Nobody's seen them.
Is it because they look like trees?
I mean, that's part of it. They can hide if they want to, but no. I mean, we just my master would want to know that you all have seen a treant. That's all.
Who's your master?
It's one of the Archfey, of course.
Oh, of course. There's just so many. Which one is yours?
There's only 5.
It's a lot.
That's as high as some of us can count.
He's not here right now.
Kick him while he's out. I see how it is.
Oh, hey, Eddie.
I see how it is. They just talk shit. He's talking mad shit about Rooster.
Huh? One of those being helpful?
He's talking about the dog. You don't know.
That is true. Blue is there. Maybe they're talking about Imdar, who was also there. Who we will remember this guy. Okay.
Did he even fight?
Huh?
Yeah, he was in the fight.
He just never got close.
What did he do in the fight? His best. He did his
He did
best.
the bubble. Wasn't the bubble his?
No, the
No, the
bubble
bubble
was-
was
was
mine. He did a lot of casting, like blood. He cast bless a couple of times and stuff like that. Hey, sheep. No.
Look, there's no time to explain. Like let's go. We've gotta get going. She sort of changes direction, going from facing the rolling hills, sort of turning left to go out into the plains a bit more. She has picked up her pace, using her wings more than her feet at this point.
We keeping up okay?
If you choose to, yes. It's not hard. I would say that you're traveling about at a fast pace. Stealth is not much of a concern out here in the wide open where you are.
I am still gonna keep an eye and ear out for other evil creatures.
That's a good call.
Your hunter's mark hat. Don't you still have that going?
This is true.
But we have to go-
I think this would be going.
We'd have to be actively tracking them. Like I can't just sense where they are. I just have advantage on.
Yes, and you're currently going directly away from where they headed.
Yeah, we're good. Enough.
All right. So as you continue to follow her, she flies ahead 50, 100 feet, waits, lets you catch up, and as you catch up to her every time, she tells you a little bit more about what's going on. Come on, we're going to we got to get to the fairy circle as quick as we can.
What's the fairy circle?
Fairy circles, they're like mushroom circles. They're all over this world, and you can use it to travel from place to place.
Oh.
So we're trying to get to the closest one.
Similar to teleportation circles in our realm?
Perhaps.
Can we do that, or is that just something you can do?
If you know the incantations, yes.
Okay, well, lead us on. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
We can walk and talk.
Yes. Good. Let's go.
Some of us can.
What is this? What am I drinking?
All right. So you continue on another 500, 600 feet. That seems like way too little.
No, that's like 2 football fields.
Yeah. But it's still not as far as I'm
600
wanting. Yeah. Okay, we'll roll with it. You travel about 600 feet, and you can see This works out.
Seemed
Right?
like 600 feet to us.
That's good.
It's good hops. I like it.
Yeah, a lot of herbs there.
The let me get this right in my head. All right, at this point, Brixie says, we're close, come on. And she takes off ahead of you. You said that you were listening, looking around for sights and sounds. All right, so behind you guys, several hundred feet behind you guys, where you're coming from, you see again, the grass is just ruffling behind you, like there's a stampede of something that you cannot see. All right?
I'm gonna tell everyone there's something behind us. We need to hurry.
All right. So,
I'm dashing.
okay, cool. So
So-
picking up your pace, checking over your shoulder, for a brief moment, you think you catch a glimpse of something taller, a humanoid figure that is running after that cloud. Hard to see through the cloud from where you are.
Running after the cloud.
Sort of like with it, if that makes sense. Like
So
as the
in
cloud
the
moves
mix.
forward. In the midst of the cloud. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, running in the midst of it. You can't quite make out who it is from this distance. They do seem to be gaining on you a bit. All right, so it's still another, to judge by where Briggs is, at least another couple hundred feet up to the fairy circle. You're running as hard as you can at this point, just all out, trying not to trip over these small hills and these grass tufts that are, you all are kicking up as much glitter dust as the stampede behind you seems to be. Without any further action on the what's going on behind you, you catch up to Brixie, and she's standing at the edge of the fairy circle. What she called a fairy circle, you would recognize as just mushrooms. I mean, they're a little bit bigger than you would see in our world. I'd say probably 6 inches to a foot high on average. But you see just mushrooms of varying size, varying thicknesses, caps of varying heights. Lots of colors that you wouldn't see in the real world. Lots of purples and reds. Some are spotted. Might be Smurf houses, probably, Quick, get in the circle, hurry, we can do this, we can make it. She hasn't yet seen, as far as you can tell, what is behind you. So, she's ushering all of you into this circle. Quick, get in.
Yeah, I get in as soon as I can.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, step into it.
Okay.
I
Indar.
stand outside it wondering, is this a trap?
Okay,
I
interesting.
pull him in.
You pull him in? Do you let her?
Yeah, sure.
Get
Okay.
there.
All right, following your lead, Imdar lets you in, or follows you in as well. All right, so everyone is in the circle. All right, Brixie still doesn't seem to notice the large stampede of glitter dust that is following you all. Nor does she notice the humanoid figure who's getting ever closer.
Dixie, are we going soon?
Yes, we'll go right away. She reaches for a pouch on her belt, and she begins to dust out this red, almost like ruby dust, is what you imagine it to be. She.
Ready a shot if they get within 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have like my rifle.
They won't get within 30 feet within the next 6 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
If that.
I just want to have my rifle ready in case they get too close.
Okay.
To attack.
Okay, cool. That works.
Brixie, how long will this take? Do you see that?
She doesn't give you an answer because she is focused on the incantation at this point. She spread the ruby dust out. She is speaking in Sylvan low enough that you can't quite hear. As she does, you see the edges of that fairy circle begin to let's say it like this: the caps of the mushrooms start to glow with this white, translucent energy. The caps reach out and touch one another with that energy, forming like an unbroken line between all of the tips of the caps. That line begins to form a dome over all of you. The circle about 20 feet in diameter, the dome about the same height above you. And as that dome comes together at the top, Brixie floats down, crosses her arms. Well, here we are.
Good.
Did we go anywhere?
Hmm?
Did we go anywhere?
No, you're still on the grass. You're still on the plains. Brixie's still there in front of you. The cloud of glitter is now coming towards you. Still.
Brixie, do you see that?
Would you say that you said you leveled your gun? Would you say you're looking through the scope at it?
Through the scope to the
cloud, to like
Yeah,
whatever's
probably.
coming at you. Again, this is just like a rainbow glitter cloud, like
yeah.
coming this way. All right, so you can barely make out the humanoid figure that's running with it. He has a great sword in one hand, and he seems to be struggling to sprint with his leafy armor all about him, kind of weighing him down.
Oh, we
Quote.
should have got the damn circle.
Quote. It's quote.
Thanks, guys.
Don't look at me.
Well, get comfy. You're gonna be here a little while. And as she starts to let out her little one-liner, she finally hears the that's getting louder behind her. They're still a little ways off, but it's definitely visible at this point. She thinks that she's got you trapped. Faux show. Let me do this real quick too.
Should save your little later.
So realizing that you're trapped, how do you feel? What do you do?
I point the gun at Breezy.
Okay. I mean, you got her in your sights.
How big is the little dragon?
The little dragon at this point, I would say, is a small creature. Not too much bigger than Lula with wings.
Aw.
Quite small.
You said the circle is 20 feet?
20 feet around. 20 feet
Diameter?
in
Radius?
diameter.
Okay.
So it'd be like a 4x4 square up on the board.
I grab the dragon.
The dragon's not in the circle.
Oh, of course.
No, sorry.
I go sit across from Brixie.
Okay, you just sit. Okay.
Cross legs, sit right in front of her, similar to how she's kind of on the ground.
Her calmness, your calmness rather, sort of disturbs her a little bit. She starts looking over her shoulder. What did you do?
I just smiled.
Ah. She. I don't know. I thought I'd do something.
You shouldn't trust everybody that plays dumb and ignorant to the ways of the Fae.
Okay. No, you can't. You can't have known. You can't have known that decoy should have worked.
I smile a little bit broader.
Ugh! Fine. Mon, go.
Oh, I shoot Mon as soon as she says that.
Okay. All right. So you level a shot at Mon.
Is Momon still hurt a little bit? Does he have Colossus Slayer in this piece too?
Let me just make sure this is how this works. Okay. So your bullet. First of all, everyone make me a Constitution saving throw for being inside an echo chamber
You're
on
welcome.
the plains in a 20-foot radius with a dude with a gun. Oh, dice.
22.
Good. That's a good roll.
What am I?
Dude, I guess I would need to make it too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Underneath
I
your
assume
name,
you're hearing a shot all the
you
time
roll
anyway.
D20, and then you add that Constitution saving part.
Just dump the whole bag and then just find the best D20.
The
13.
best D20.
The
Take
biggest
one.
one.
Yeah,
There's
13.
actually a big
13,
one probably
good.
there.
13, 22,
18.
18,
What am I adding again?
9.
9,
22.
22.
I got comp.
All right. You're deaf for the next 30 seconds.
Ah.
Yes. Precisely.
What?
Well,
Like all of us?
No, just
Just Freya.
Freya.
but tonight is
30 seconds.
Yes, your ears are ringing so loudly. I like to imagine that you were standing right next to him when he shot the gun and
Did that affect Brixie at all?
up.
Yeah,
Oh.
next to you here
Shot
trying to
their
make
dog.
noises.
It did not. So you level your gun, you fire the bullet, you see a bright flash of amber energy as it hits that barrier, and the bullet is dissolved.
Dude, what barrier?
You're
The
inside
dome.
the
Trapped
thing.
inside the
Oh,
dome.
so I missed the Mon, or is
She's
Mon?
outside.
Mon, yes. All right. So yes, we can do an art.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I could explain it better. 20-foot circle. You're all in the circle. She ushered all of you into the circle while standing outside the circle.
Oh, she was standing outside.
She was standing outside the circle
Oh
to
shit.
do the ritual.
didn't
I could have
know.
explained that better. To do the ritual, she had to do it from outside the circle. And then all the energy coalesced and formed a dome, and now you're trapped in the dome.
Yeah, so what is that Mon?
No, I get it. I get you. Yes, the bullet dissolves at the edge of the barrier. Freya is now deaf for 30 seconds. Brixie rounds on you, and the ferocity in her face, it's no longer that childlike, cherub-like, innocent face that you saw before. It is almost cat-like. The teeth are sharp and feline. The eyes are just burning with this like redness of energy. She gonna eat you.
So why don't you come in here and threaten us?
I'm sorry.
No, she technically is. Brixie's in there with us. Mon's outside.
No, Brixie's not in there
Both
with you.
outside.
Nobody's in there with you. Just you guys are in the circle.
Oh. Yep. Totally didn't get that this whole time.
My bad.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're all in the circle.
Yep.
Kumbaya.
I start digging.
Okay. Okay. Yes, this is
I'm
cool.
gonna See if it doesn't go underground.
Huh?
I'm gonna see if I can go under the barrier.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
What would be the thing to roll to find out how much I know about the Fae anything? Because
that
I
would
think I
be-
personally know more than I might, but I'm not really sure.
You grew up in the Fae and you just didn't
I-
tell us.
Not exactly, but yeah, make me and it's gonna be an intelligence check, and it's probably gonna be
This be history?
nature.
What's the bread? This is bread.
It's garlic bread if you want some.
I would take a piece, yes.
It's pretty good. It may be a little cold.
So now that we're stuck in a circle, we're breaking out
So yeah,
bread.
make me a nature check.
Which I just do this in
You say that now.
nature too.
Yep. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. In the heat of the moment, you were unable to recall anything about the Fae, even
Okay.
how to spell it. I mean,
You
oh
rolled
no.
really well.
Anyways.
R?
That's it.
Alright, so Mon. Brixie has sent Mon out after whatever it is that is coming after you all. Mon does a somersault in the air. You see its limbs begin to like flay out and expand. It's about the size now of Venom Fang, who y'all fought in Thunder Tree. So, not the hugest dragon in the world, but it has transformed its change size into the size of a young dragon. It still has got the same coloring. It scales that bright electric blue. Its wings, that mixture of gossamer, all these colors, purples and oranges. It takes off after the incoming storm of glitter dust. Do you guys do anything else other than watch and dig?
I turn to Tell and say, "Stop that! I told you about these things. Is that the one that we were looking for?"
Yes.
The level of convincing is beautiful.
Make me a persuasion check. I don't know. It's like I don't know what I'm trying to do.
Both of us?
Huh? No, just him.
Okay.
Just him.
2.
18.
It's a pretty low. Perfect. Brixie again. How? You cannot have known. You cannot have known about any of this. This was the perfect setup.
Apparently not.
Ugh! She starts off after Mon, flying away towards the cloud of glitter dust.
Does our dear friend that's with us have any sort of dispel anything abilities?
Imdar?
Yes.
Hey! I'm Emdar, and I have spells that I would like to cast.
I don't even
I
know.
kept looking at my sheet, and I was like, I didn't even put Dispel Magic on there.
Does he have dispel magic? Okay, let's cast it.
Aw, good thinking. I was looking at my own and was just disappointed.
Are you
But
sure? I
really
feel like
thought-
my plan was going somewhere.
Down.
No.
Imdar steps up and he concentrates. He concentrates. You see the energy flowing out of his arm and into the force cage, and it's hitting. And it's doing that same little amber burst that Tell's bullet did. Just nothing.
Okay.
Nothing is happening. He quits and he's exhausted.
Sit down, buddy.
So buff.
You did your best.
So weak.
So do you see anyone within range of us at all?
Say that. Say again.
Anybody within range of us at all?
They're getting closer.
They're
At
getting
this point,
closer, the other group's headed away from.
yeah. So if you guys are here, the other two groups are heading toward each other, and they clash. You see the enlarged form of Mon Mon disappear into the glitter cloud. After a few moments, you see Mon Mon elevate, get some more height, and is trying to like bat away things with his wings, bat away with his arms, with his legs, with his tail. He's trying and trying. Eventually falling that probably 20, 30 feet back into the cloud to the ground, and you can just see flailing going on. Something is it's like an infestation of something crawling all over him. The cloud is getting closer, and after another minute, stop me if you're trying to do something within that time.
Are there mushrooms in the circle with us, or like how do they seem to relate to any of what's going on here?
So they seem to be the metaphorical magic crystals that the whatever spell is happening here. That's what it runs on.
Okay. I casually pick a mushroom, like the destructive manner.
There's one inside with
You
us.
casually pick it up.
So that's the deal. That's the deal. So you go to pick at it. Remember I talked about how the caps had all coalesced with that energy?
Yeah.
They'd all been covered in it. That is the barrier. That's the border of the barrier. You cannot get through it. So you go to pick at it, nothing's happening. It's like your hand is running off of really slick fabric or something.
Okay.
Has Rooster gotten anywhere?
He has. He's gotten about a foot down into the dirt.
Yep.
Digging very quickly.
Yep.
Digging very quickly.
Him and Blue.
So I don't think I would like get the walls here. I'm just gonna try and go. Eh.
Okay. All right. I would say that you would need to dig a little bit more to get even the slightest person through. So you've dug a hole that's about a foot down. Gripping your fist tightly, if this is a way that you would do it, you just sort of like try to punch underneath the barrier to see if you can get your hand through on the other side.
Mhm.
Sure enough,
Ha
there it is.
Seeing that work, I'm gonna go start digging my own hole.
Why don't you dig in the same hole and just make it bigger? You'll dig twice as fast.
I mean, if we can both fit in the same hole, sure.
Maybe one at a time.
What do y'all do? I assume you have tools, weapons. You have all kinds of stuff.
Probably
What are you
like-
digging with? Out of curiosity.
Probably the butt of my gun. I don't know.
Oh no!
Who's the smallest? Just
Probably
Is it me?
Mel. It's probably Mel. Yeah. All right. So
Probably a hand axe.
I will say that as
Corn.
Remus, no.
Oh.
Come on.
It's definitely a territory thing.
Yes. On the wall. Remus, go outside.
From the window!
To the wall!
Oh.
To the wall.
To the couch.
Look ouch.
Poor guy. I'm sorry, I just gotta make the wheeze.
Chat.
Jesus Christ.
At all. I mean, are you just excited or something?
So many people.
Maybe. I don't know. Thanks for having that phone stuck in my head now.
All right.
we should totally live stream.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, think about that. Sorry, folks. We'll be right back in a minute.
Commercial break.
Our sponsors are.
Paper towels.
Ronnie. Meredith, what movie are you watching?
Rise of the Guardians.
Okay. I need to watch that.
Meredith, is this your garlic bread? It's good. Thanks, Harps.
Ping pong.
Speaking of fairies, the dust cloud has very nearly reached the dome that you're currently encased in.
Can you make anything out of it?
So it never even really stopped for the dragon. It just kept coming.
Do we want to stay in the circle?
We don't have a choice right now.
Well, I
Unless we
mean,
can dig the hole deeper.
yeah, if y'all are digging and we get out in the middle of the battle, is that really what we want to do?
Well, wait, where are you digging the hole?
Out sounds good.
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Somewhere
It's a circle.
Well,
So there's like towards the
like towards the
Use-
front
use
where we
towards
can
the
see
cloud.
or towards the back. Because if we stay in here and wait to see how the fight turns
That's a
out,
good point.
they
I
don't
didn't
know
think
that
about
we can get out.
perhaps nobody can get in either.
That's what I'm saying. If there's creatures coming, and we're in a force field of some kind.
But what if they can get in, but we can't get out?
Well, I mean, maybe we should keep digging the hole, but we could
Let up a loose dirt.
not let them know.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have started digging somewhere. I don't think I would have been really strategic with it.
Okay.
So
We'll start off to the side, one of the sides somewhere.
That's fine.
I don't know where I would have picked.
Okay.
Probably not close to Breachy, right?
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so out of the cloud, you see Mon Mon almost sort of just erupt, takes to the sky, does a quick barrel roll. You see several little, almost twig-like entities fall off of it as he flies towards you, with Brixie on his back, holding on tightly. You see that there is a huge gash in Mon Mon's side from which bright green blood is just pooling and dripping out. He's struggling on that side, but they do manage to fly away. This time, flying, let me get my directions right, towards the forest that you all came from.
Okay.
The cloud that was coming at you about 4 feet high sort of dies down to about 2 feet high. So it's still sort of coming towards you, but as it dies down a little bit, you can see the form of Quoth walking at you now with the sword, putting the great sword back in its sheath, a long line of green blood pooling off of it. Quoth approaches. Assuming you all are still in the dome and haven't left through a hole that you've dug, he leans on his sword and says, "Man, that's kind of fun."
Hey, Quoth.
You can see around him what's stirring up the grass now. It's hundreds, thousands maybe, of these little green twig-like entities.
Are they twig
Have we
bites?
fought these before? Maybe in
I think you
Thunder
have.
Street or
I think you have. It is
Yeah.
an army. There's an army of twig blights that he seems to be commanding. Twig blights. Just see. I don't know if you were here for that part of everything. If you've seen the bowtruckles, the little green twig dudes from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, it's like those, but mean, and they've got claws and they'll eat you.
They're not really that good.
And they keep coming. They're not, but in numbers of hundreds and thousands.
Still not that good.
No, but they can, you
Can do
know,
work.
Father.
if you've got 300 of them grappling a dragon, one of them is bound to succeed. So, his calm demeanor seems to convey to you that he's not worried about these twig blights. If anything, it seems like they are fighting for him. Well, looks like you got a good old Fey welcome.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, some fairy.
Is this what,
I don't know. I've never met her.
is this what we were supposed to be expecting?
Expecting? Expecting is the last word you want to use with the Fae. No. Expect the unexpected. Expect nothing and still be surprised.
Can you let us out of here?
Maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Is it safe to come out?
Of here?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. think she's coming back with any army or anything. But besides, we got all these little dudes here. They'll protect us.
Have you still been digging? Is this hole big enough for somebody to slide out of yet?
It's getting there. It's getting there.
It works
Blue could probably fit through at this point, but it'd still be a little tight.
Go get help.
Just runs and sits in front of both.
Timmy fell down the well.
Hey guys, I got help.
Here's help. I got this. Quoth leans down and touches the barrier, and from the outside it like gives a little, almost like it's balloon-like, but he's not able to push through it. I haven't seen this one before. I know these circles have hundreds of incantations. You can use at any one of them to connect them to anything. What did she do? Like, what did she say? Did you hear the incantation or see what she did?
No, we couldn't hear it.
She had red dust, but we don't know what she said.
Red dust. Red dust. I don't know that one. Alright, I'm gonna try something. I don't know if it will work.
We're close to getting out on the side Rooster is at. That may be a safer choice.
Can you trade lights help us dig?
Dig a hole?
Yeah.
Through the ring?
Yeah.
Well, it won't work after that.
What won't work?
The ring. If you dig a hole through the network, it won't connect to anything else.
Oh, Rooster, stop.
That sounds like a good thing, though, right?
When do you get to teleport?
I don't think that it really teleports. I think
You said they have a bunch of uses.
Potentially, yeah.
Can the ring teleport?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of them can. All of them can do anything. I mean, not anything, but like, if you know the incantation and you've got the components, I mean, it's just like magic in our world. You can, you know what to say, you know what to do, you know how to do anything.
Are there more circles around here?
Well,
Hundreds, as far as I know. Magic Man, yes.
how far away is your patron?
My patron. She is currently the way you distance doesn't work the same way here.
That's fair. I'm starting to piece that together. Is a teleportation circle our best bet to get there, or would another means be appropriate?
I think it's best if I bring her to you. Probably.
Can we just wait here?
She'll know how to handle. I mean, what else can you do?
We couldn't
We
dig
can
through
ruin a
it.
circle.
I don't think she would like that very much.
Rooster, stop.
Hmm?
Said Rooster, stop.
Hasn't he already punched his hand through it?
Yeah.
He kind of poked into it.
No,
You said I
Rooster.
punched under and through.
Under and through, yes. Well, not through the ring itself.
Yeah.
Under the dome.
Yeah.
So like if the big dome was made of plastic and you're actually digging through, you just wouldn't be able to touch the plastic, but you can still go under it. Yes. So, implication being if the hole got big enough, at some point it would break that circle.
Oh.
The magic would be gone. You can still do it. It should be hard to teleport that. The first thing you need to know about the Fae is that nothing really makes sense. Trial and error is effective, but you could definitely die before you get to the, right after the error part, before the learning part. Yeah.
Is this about when Freya can hear again?
I would say so, yeah. Actually, she's probably been able to hear this whole conversation. The whole bit, like, she'd be able to see Mon fly away bleeding and stuff.
I
And,
feel that.
Thanks.
Saved it.
You guys look really confused.
A little bit.
Questions?
Were those Link Dog and Displacer Beasts working with her?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We were attacked by Link Dogs and Displacer Beasts earlier.
Ah, okay, okay. I had been
They too had the purple crystals.
alerted to an attack. That would have been what it was. Interesting. All right, so what appears to have happened is that you all were attacked with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
My lady alerted me to that attack. I followed up on it. She said to bring backup. I did. Did she say anything about the attack?
She talked about a decoy and how we fell for the decoy.
That's what I thought. All right. So it sounds like whoever sent those beasts after you did so as a ploy. He thinks for a minute, scratches his eye patch. Well, think about it. If, say I was trying to lure you all into a trap. I get attacked by the very person that I'm working for.
Most convincing.
And you believe that I'm not working for them until it's too late, until you're trapped in an impenetrable barrier.
So do you know what her end game was? Or could have been?
I assume sell you out. I mean, we know who's after you.
Who?
The keeper.
Is he an archfey?
Yeah, he's an archfey.
Is he one of the 5?
The inner court.
Please
The inner court.
explain.
Inner court. All right. So,
We don't be meeting any of these. Ignorance is not on our side.
get comfy. All right. So there are 5 members of the inner court. From what I've learned, there used to be 6. 6 hasn't been around for a while. The 5 members of the inner court, led by the queen, Titania, my patron. If you ever meet her,
She cute.
call her your majesty. She is beyond beautiful. Mortals cannot comprehend the beauty that is Titania. Her consort, Oberyn,
Competition.
great warrior of the Fae. Their children, Veranestra and Dav. The 5th, the one you know as Keeper. His given name is Skerrit. S-K-E-R-R-I-T. He's some kind of stag centaur thing. And like I said, there used to be a 6th.
Do you know why the Keeper wants anything to do with this?
Well, yeah, you killed his pets.
That's fair, I guess.
He can find new pets.
Yes, he can.
It's not the same though. Think if Blue died, how Mel would feel. And she multi-class barbarian.
Think if she had genetically engineered her dog to be the very best dog,
I did.
and had spent years tempering its mind to be controlled in every aspect, and then somebody just came by and killed it. You'd be like, ugh, all that work. What an annoyance.
Is there anything we need to know before we meet anybody else or any of the court or anything about how we should act? Like you said, we should call her Your Majesty. Is there a fork order we need to use, or like how should we interact with these things?
They're obsessed with beauty.
Oops.
Well, I shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Humility
so
never was your strong suit.
I cast suggestion on you when you
So
last
we
looked in the
should
mirror.
compliment them a lot.
Be careful about that. Titania, yes, loves flattery. Compliment someone else a little too much in her presence, she'll start to get jealous. And that's not good for anybody. God, I hope she can't hear me right now.
Your gums aren't bleeding. I think you're all right.
Good point. Good point. If I just disappear, you'll know. All of the Fae seem to operate on a few key rules. Fairies can't lie. None of these Fae creatures can lie. But it's like a game to them how they can turn a phrase. They will tell you everything but the truth. They will get so close to the truth and still be trying to trick you. There's always a double motive.
Are any of them trustworthy? Or is it more working along rules that expect anything offered to ultimately be to their advantage?
They will do their very best that every action they take will be to their own advantage. Some young, inexperienced Fae, like the one you just saw, don't tend to think things through all the way. You know, vying for power, trying to secure a higher spot than they've currently got. People get sloppy. The Archfae are not that way. They've been playing these games since the beginning of time, millennia. Alright, so if we do go to the inner court, you have to know no one is allowed in the inner court save for the inner court. I've seen what happens when someone goes in unallowed. There's this dragon throne thing. It's not pretty. Third thing, last thing, probably the most important thing, especially if I summon her here, nobody sees the queen without a gift. We have to have a gift.
What kind of gifts do Archfae that have lived for millennia treasure? Our options are
Treasure's a strong word.
limited.
Appreciate. Like, what level of gift are we talking? Like, jewels or
Puppy?
flowers?
My undying love.
No, puppies are not.
You're on the right track. You're on the right track. Things that humans want, things that humans would appreciate for gifts, these fleeting, passing things. The Fae care none for it. Beautiful things. The abstract. I've heard some of these contracts that they come up with. The terms, the things that they have to deliver are completely nebulous. I don't know how one would go about bringing someone a handful of stardust. I don't know what that means. But those are the kinds of deals they make. Be careful with them.
If
Be
we're one of
careful.
scales.
Have a bell.
We all have a scale from a dragon.
I know.
I thought we did.
You're always gonna. You're brought on board, so to speak.
Yeah, but we have to go back to Red Lord.
Your family.
Or family.
That's true. You did skip the Finland.
That's true. Not get lured in the shipment? No, because that came from. Yeah, the Baron.
I've got it written in my notes in there. That y'all skip through Finland.
No, that's fine.
Oh, great session.
It was fine.
Would she appreciate a slave? What if we gave her a marksman?
Yeah. I mean, that
Oh,
kind
there
of.
we go. Problem solved.
We just cotton picking
See,
seconds.
guys, this is why I
We almost
bring it
lost
to the group.
150 pounds.
It worked for me. I mean, that was the deal. I mean, she appeared more beautiful than anything I'd ever seen, and just the way she talked.
work for you.
I don't even
gave
remember
yourself
what
to
she
her
said.
Service.
Yeah.
In exchange,
I don't even know. This position, this power, I guess.
Is that when you left?
Didn't even have a chance to say goodbye. No, it all happened so fast. But I'm not kidding. She's the most beautiful. One look at her, and my life was forfeit.
I hope she looks like Jabba the Hutt. She's just got like some little fairy creature on a leash.
Oh, you're so pretty, Tanya!
You're so pretty.
Tell me I'm pretty. Give mommy a kiss. Okay. Speaking of Titania, guys, I don't know how to take down this circle. Titania will. She has domain over all of this.
and she won't
But
like
if
us
she
breaking
comes
it.
here, we won't have any gifts for her. We're just like in a circle. You
Does
can't
it
show
need
up
to be
at our
a gift
house.
per person, or can one give a gift for the group?
We all could give a gift for the group, yeah. Something she doesn't have. I mean, would work.
Does she have any scales from a green dragon?
I don't know, honestly.
Who we have to make?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe some candles. 1,000 ball bearings. Surely she doesn't
Nah,
have
it's-
that many ball
You're
bearings.
thinking too literal. Get out of your packs. I mean,
I don't really want to pledge my life to her.
Right.
what's something that no one else has?
Oops, sorry, I asked Siri.
Does she have Siri?
She doesn't have Ziri. Maybe an investigation check. As you're trying to deduce
Oh.
what the fairy queen might wish for.
9.
12.
You said investigation?
Yeah.
18?
18.
17.
17. Investigation?
Yeah.
It's its own skill.
That's about halfway
Oh,
down your
Okay,
skills.
21.
21.
Another
Alright.
one I have a negative in.
Alright, so between the three of you, he keeps hinting at something that she doesn't already have.
There probably isn't anything
trying to think.
material that she can't have or doesn't have. It's something that's got to be immaterial in the sense of a thought,
Could write her a song.
a song. Yeah.
A song could work, something like that.
Where are y'all with your harmonies?
What about
Good.
something that someone else had until recently?
I have this
That's as
manticore
vague as
head.
I can be.
Well,
The
don't you have his crossbow?
stone?
And we have the crystals.
The rabbit's foot.
Again, a little too material.
Something else that run that.
Someone had until recently.
Someone else possessed until recently.
How long ago?
Very
We could
recent.
tell her about the treant.
Could tell her about the treant. That's something she doesn't have. They're all dead or captive for the
We'll
past
tell her
50
about
years.
the treant. Of course, if she goes and kills it, then we'll feel kind of bad.
Something they've had until very recently. This feels like a riddle.
Someone
It is
else
like a
had.
rumor.
Someone else had it. The keeper guy had it like
Yeah.
trapped.
The quote is the keeper guy.
No,
Not that
no, no,
good,
no,
right?
no.
Oh, you're talking about with the purple.
Yeah.
Oh, the bad guy.
Yeah.
I
Whose name I've
mean,
already forgotten, but was listed earlier.
but he could have left. I guess he may not be there.
Sear it or
Scare it.
Scary, I suppose.
I didn't make up these names this time. And it wasn't even the D&D book this time. Alright, mentioning the treant, to quote, his eyes sort of light up. That is definitely something that she did not have.
Knowledge. If we can impart some form of knowledge, the treant would be that could be seen as a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the spot on court that was vacated had something to do with treants before.
Okay.
Asking questions of the Archfey is difficult.
I do speak truthfully.
I've been here, what, a decade in your world? I swear, I know.
That's a question for you.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I know less than when I entered. All right, I'm going to summon the Sealy Queen and hope that she is dressed.
Good. That may be your hope.
Right?
It's just that. Need that control top.
All right. He kneels down. He puts his hand on the closest mushroom to him.
I get my sketchbook out.
You have one of those?
You want that one? No, that's not what I want. I'm gonna go back to
We're
the
about to
original.
fight the thief.
Summoning.
He lets out a long, slow breath, closes his eyes, and through the barrier you hear him say, "Sing, sing, sing. Ruffle trees in the wind. Let not the sunlight pass. Dance, flowers and grass. Let not your scent be lost for direction. Sing praise, homeless bird, that the mistress of the night shall not tear off your wings. Return to the earth and sing. Flutter in the skies and sing. Bow your noble head to the garden and sing. For the great Gaelok of Tir na Nog has arrived." A short distance away, there is a of the glitter dust from the grass. And then slowly approaching, sitting side saddle on this small donkey, of all things.
Oh.
Accompanied by one side on a wolf and a fox on one side. What you see is a small, not small, what I'm trying to say, like a dire rabbit, like a really big rabbit on the other side. Seem to be her company. All right, so sitting on the donkey, the feminine creature that you see is beautiful, or at least you assume she is. She keeps her life frame covered in long, form-fitting sleeves, and her face covered in a veil made from indigo cloth and chainmail. In the veil's forehead, there's a bright indigo gem that glows softly. At the bottom of the veil hang 4 gems. One bright blue, one green, one orange, and one purple. And I have a picture. So that you don't have to just imagine what I'm talking about, because...
Does that purple one look like other purple ones we've
Yes,
seen?
it does. Yes, it does. Now, the one in her forehead is a slightly deeper indigo purple. Boulders are hard. And there's only 37 pictures here. Alright, you notice... That's alright. That's the veil that I'm talking about. The dress's fabric matches that veil fabric. Underneath, it's then covered with sort of gossamer lace throughout.
Is there one missing?
Yes, there is.
How far off would we say she is? Is she in earshot?
Yes. I would say probably about 50 feet away.
Okay. Oh, that kind of earshot.
I appreciate that.
Flattery. It gives you everywhere.
You was talking about the donkey.
She's gonna be jealous
I
of
know.
her donkey.
She kills the donkey instantly. Blah, dead. Alright. The figure approaches. Melion, why have you summoned me here, of all places? Your Majesty, speak. This is the order of the Green Scales. They are trapped in this barrier.
I just sort of like.
You study she studies each of you in turn, looking lastly at you. Melion, what is this hideous creature? Melion, why have you brought this here? My lady, no. This is it's a humanoid creature from the material. I know what it is, Melion. Why have you brought it here? It was you that brought them here. Yes.
Maybe.
Melion. I don't think that I can deal with you right now. 100 years of falling. He pops out of existence. For about 10 seconds, she just sits studying the general splendor of the area around you. And then you hear whoop! He hits the ground in front of where she was. Looks like he's been beaten to shit. Like someone was just hitting him with sticks the entire time that he was falling. He gets up. He's like, all right, 1,000 apologies, my lady. My lady, please no. Please help these people. For what, Melion? Why would I help these creatures? That one's digging up my pretty fairy ring.
Hey, I stopped.
Damage is done.
Put it back.
How did you get in here anyway?
We're not entirely sure.
Ignorance. A shame.
Your Majesty, we were assisted in getting here, and we were tricked by another fey creature who organized an attack with blink dogs and displacer beasts. We thought we were on the run for our lives, and she tricked us into this predicament. We were hoping that you would be gracious enough to help us get out of here.
You blame your predicament on the Fae as tricksters?
Not the Fae in general, just perhaps this one.
Just the one.
Your Majesty, we think. Never mind.
You see like the covering of her nose just like wrinkle up as you begin to speak. Melion, what are those? The poor, how did she eat? Did she talk with the mushman? I don't know.
We had some guidance coming here, Your Majesty, from a treant that gave direction to us in order to enter the Fae in search of my sister.
Your sister.
My sister.
A treat, you say?
No,
Yes,
your
treant.
sister.
Yes, Your Majesty. Apparently has been trapped and dormant for the past, 50 years on the material plane.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage now.
Well, 26.
Melion, can you confirm this is true? My lord. It's true. It's true. It's hostile through into the Feywild. Melion, she snaps. His condition is improved immediately. is back as if he was younger, healthier than before. Could you take me to the spot where you saw the streams?
I believe so. The way your world works is different than ours, but it was in the direction of. Can you see the woods from where we're at?
Kind of. Like, very
It's
distant.
very distant. The distant wood, Your Majesty.
Hmm.
That is where we first came through.
In the wood. Yes. Alright. A quick stop first. Give me just a second.
Take all the time you need, Your Majesty. Your presence is blessing enough.
You have a nice ass.
You have huge tracts of land.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Alright, so at that point, she rides her donkey up to the side of the barrier, places a hand on it, kind of near where Mel is standing. Could you go to the other side? Could you just... I'm afraid of how it will smell. Understand? And like just a bubble popping, it's gone. It's gone. Air rushes in. You're able to breathe a little bit easier, knowing that you're not encased in this bubble of doom. Well, provided that our stout friend here has not broken the tether between this ring and the next, we should be at the court and you appear. Almost as if by magic.
Is there any
Outside.
sensation of movement? Or are you
What? That's a good question. The feeling is not unlike being shrunk and then being forced through a tiny tube.
Would you know how that feels?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Just,
Birth was terrible.
Water deep.
yeah.
He knows how birth works, I guess.
Right?
Shrunk, tiny tube.
You're telling me that you didn't go get reborn? Like, oof. No, that's like a twisted thing that nobles do. They pay to get shrunken and like forced. Anyway. That's why I never get anything done. Alright, so you appear outside the Sealy court. It's not, I'm pressing around this way again. It's not quite as grand as you had imagined. Still beautiful, but the stonework almost, what we know is sort of Gothic in nature. The stonework is broken in many places, almost as if the palace has come to ruin.
I would say, Your Majesty, what a beautiful, majestic place you reside. I've never seen anything this grand.
Meliorn, this one has the smell of you. How do you know him? He was under my tutelage, Your Majesty, at one point in the boy's life. That would explain it, I guess. Although it seems he did not pick up your knack for disobedience. Apologies, my lady, of course.
Kind of act like I'm looking around and then put like my hands on my hips and I'm like, oh, see better.
Let me finish this and I'll get to that.
300 years of folly.
You comment that the palace looks beautiful. As you walk underneath one archway that looks like it's carefully woven ivy and branches overhead. Yes. She reaches up to grab one of the flowers, the vine sort of almost extending down into her hand like it's asking to be pet or something. It is. The architecture, unlike anything you've ever seen. We think it is visionary to let the nature overtake the structure. I see you have a good eye for these things. Which is what you say. She'd better. Perhaps you'll see even better from this vantage point. You find yourself not outside the Sealy Court, but in a tree. In a very tall tree. Looking down, you see nothing but branches all the way down. It's some sort of oak, as far as you can tell. You can't see the bottom. Looking out, you see that there is a canopy of trees far, far below you. Looking up, you see branches again as far as you can see. Not quite sure where you are. Back at the Sealy Court. We'll wait for Bailey to get back. I was wondering who would get Dimension Door first.
Oh, Dimension Door is so cool.
I don't know if Dimension Door is the... I think Dimension Door... Pocket Dimension. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Getting banished to a pocket dimension.
Yeah.
well, that's serious.
Yeah.
Hi. I'll be back.
Not if you're in a pocket dimension. They're opening my car documents, and it just blows my mind that they can ship something from Oregon this afternoon, and I'm gonna have it tomorrow.
That's crazy, yeah.
24-hour shipping of things.
I guess they just put it on like a commercial plane, wouldn't they? Like
No.
a passenger plane.
It would probably fly on one of their Hispanic planes and UPS and everybody. Like they've got,
Like, that's just awesome.
and so they get it to wherever it's put on a vehicle.
Did you ever wipe up what you sprayed?
No. It's kind of dried.
It's staining the floor.
Huh?
Can you wipe it up? I'll do it.
Yeah, I can do it. It's my spray, I'll do
I
it.
don't know what's in it, so I don't want to just leave it on the floor.
Yes.
Dangerous chemicals. It's gonna give you
good clean up this.
give your kids autism.
Kind of markers to erase them. You just gotta keep writing over one more
Yeah.
marker.
Gotta chlorinate your kids.
Did you say chlorinate your kids?
I did. Into the fairy court, the Sealy court, the rest of you are led.
Except for Mr.
Of course.
Hanging out in the tree.
Hanging out in a tree. Do you like climb it or like jump out or
I don't think I'd jump out.
okay.
That's stupid.
Did you say when we were flying that one time that you were afraid of heights? Or that your character is afraid of heights?
I don't remember.
This is gonna get interesting.
Yes.
You are infinitely far in the air, as far as you can tell.
Yep.
Okay. So we leave
Having a
Rooster
grand old time.
hugging the tree tightly. Oh man. All right. So it's difficult to tell how much, if any, time has passed between when you left the fairy circle and when you arrived at the Sealy Court. In this point, it almost feels like you're sunken down beneath the earth a little bit. Almost like the court is sort of hidden away in some sort of nook, some sort of crevice. What am I trying to say? A canyon? A gorge? Gorge is a good word because there's a river there. Titania leads you through on her donkey, past the archway, where you start to see, as you get closer to the castle, more attendants, other fey creatures, dryads who are wooden women. Just imagine mannequins, basically, with like wooden hair that's all like branchy, and you can see the wood grain in them. And that's what dryads are. And they are walking about carrying long shields and spears.
Like Groot.
Yeah,
His
yeah, like
favorite
Lady
tree.
Groot. Yeah.
I'm gonna put my rifle in the back of the wood.
Okay. I mean, it's not a bad call. Yeah. She leads you underneath that large archway and up the grand stairs, which similarly broken, covered in ivy, into this large antechamber through these doors, one of which is completely broken and almost set aside. These wooden doors that are, 10 feet wide apiece, 40 feet tall with an arch at the top. One of them completely gone. into the antechamber where you see much more hustle and bustle going about. You see satyrs, which are small. Imagine the lower half of it. Oh, if you've seen Hercules, that's what his tutor was a satyr. Mr. Tumnus,
Yeah.
who's a faun, technically different, but close enough. You get the idea. Are bustling about, their hooves clopping on the stone and dirt floors. In front of you, there are 2 doors of similar size that are not broken. Quoth leans in and whispers, "That's the inner court. Don't touch those doors." As you look at them, though, the doors do swing open. The right one does. Inside, you can catch a brief glimpse. In the center, there is this large pedestal, thinner at the bottom, wider at the top, and there's this huge crystal orb. You guess 2 or 3 feet in diameter, sitting in the middle. Behind that, you see 6 chairs aligned in a row. The middle one of the middle ones, that is, it looks almost as if there is a dragon coiled up over the back of the chair. As it catches each of you looking, the throne itself almost reaches a hand forward, swings, and the door slams shut. 2 creatures have just come through the door, which is why it had opened in the first place. The first, you suspect is an archfey due to the way he is decorated. Most notable about this archfey is the large set of antlers. Each point decorated with faintly glowing purple crystals. The antlers sit atop a humanoid head and torso, but the lower body is that of a stag centaur, you can call him. As his eyes come to rest on you, his expression turns quickly from malice, desire, hunger, and then again is calm. He sort of lifts his head, raises his nose, just out his chin a bit. As he walks off, you see that he has an attendant
How
following.
close is he?
I would say at this point he's about 40 feet away. In range, but not talking distance, just close enough to give you the eye. From across the room. He heads off down a hallway that there seem to be 2 hallways, one jutting left and right out of this main entrance that you just walked through, that seem to go around that inner court. He heads off to the left. Behind him, following him, seems to be an attendant. She appears to be a humanoid woman with long dark hair. However, that image is kind of muddled a bit by her facial features being completely obscured by this mask, this skull mask that she is wearing, that is that of a large deer or maybe an elk. It seems affixed to her face. In the eye sockets of the skull, you can see small purple orbs that seem to dart about almost as eyes. Got a picture for that too. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, cool. So we'll go the other way this time. If you look there, the first picture is Scarrick, the stag centaur. And if you hit the right arrow, you see his attendant. Her dress, a brilliant red-orange gown, seems to transition from cloth at the top to a hem of autumn leaves at the bottom. Hopefully the picture conveys that. Scarrick is manly AF.
Although that pout, though, in that picture.
Yeah.
So he has blue or purple crystals on the tips of all the hammers?
They sort of swing about. It seems like they're not permanently affixed.
It's almost
More like
kinda
decoration.
kind of orbit.
Got his bling. Gotta have your antler baubles. It's a terrible name for it. Really could have come up with a better name. All right. Titania dismounts. There in the hallway. Scared. We have visitors. These are the... What did you call yourselves?
We are the Order of the Green Scales.
I know who they are.
You must be the keeper.
He doesn't give you an answer. Continues on to the left.
You drop these.
Again, doesn't give you an answer. Continues on.
Cool, bro.
The attendant does look back, however. Come! He spits over his shoulder. She turns her head quickly and walks back, hands clasped in front of her.
I turn around and I softly say, "Don't worry, we'll see you later."
Okay. Nobody hears you.
Well, Tim,
Oh, okay. Tim hears you.
like, swear to the group.
Look, group only threat, yeah.
You better run.
Yeah, exactly. Bitch. We'll cut you later.
Yeah.
Good luck, dude. Ugh. Man, Archfey. Let's get to the fun stuff. Meliorn, Titania says to Quoth, would you be so kind as to gather the rest of my family? Of course, right away, my lady. He dips inside the inner chamber. Comes out. Following him, there is a very interesting parade of individuals. Here we go. First up is this guy. Let me get pictures. Cool. All right, I went that way this time. Let's do this time. All right, so the first individual through the door walks with as much of a bored look as you can have without being able to see his face. His posture is slouched. Even as he exits the chamber, he just leans against the door, looking at you with his arms crossed, almost bored. His fine armor covers his body and face. Seems to be made of interwoven branches and oversized butterfly wings. He has one glowing gem in his forehead that glows bright blue. This, dear children, is my consort, my one true love in this life. You hear a come from the orange individual on the wall. Oberon, sweet Oberon. She looks at him with... you have no idea what emotion. She's wearing a veil. With her head cocked a little bit. The individual that comes out behind him is this lady. She appears almost elven, save that her skin is silvery white, as is her hair, the top half of which is decorated heavily with lilacs. Her gossamer floral dress is extremely light and flowy. It appears to be made more from silver wisps than actual fabric. That was the most modest picture I could find of this character. My daughter, Veronestra. A sweet thing.
She's single now.
Beautiful, is she not? She says to the three of you.
You can see where her
Oh,
beauty
I
comes
thought I
from.
was still in the tree.
That's a good point, thank you. You are still in a tree.
Oh wait, Impar's there too.
Oh, fuck, Imdar's there. Damn it, I just said we weren't gonna forget about him. Alright, so back at the circle, we're gonna retcon. Imdar approaches the queen, kneels down. My lady, this is not my place. He turns to you all. My task here was done a long time ago. I never meant to get involved in this world. I need to go back to the material plane. I you know, my quest was to slay that beast, and we done it. Good work, team. I need to get back. He says almost like, sort of like he's fiending a little bit, like scratching his neck, looking about like a little too quickly and suspiciously and stuff. The queen sends him back with a snap. You assume. Suddenly in the tree with Rooster. Yes, please. Thank you. No, you assume that Imdar is back safe and sound. You can check when you get back to Red Larch.
So I guess we live here now. That's your half.
How do you do half of infinity? Like the top half of infinity and the bottom half of
Right and
infinity?
left
Yeah.
half.
Of the right and left half of infinity?
Yeah.
What is right and left? What is east and west? Ugh.
You stay over there.
Draws a line down the tree. Okay.
We can't have nice things.
I swear we're getting to the fun stuff. Alright, Imdar's out. Good deal. Good deal.
You're welcome.
The last person through the door.
Did she hear my compliment?
Hmm?
Did she hear my compliment?
Oh yeah, because she was baiting you. Beautiful is she not? And you said you can see where she gets her beauty from. She says. Quoth gives you the side eyes and he's like, the last person through the door, you almost don't see behind Veranestra because he's about 3 feet tall and extremely hairy. His entire form, in fact, is nearly covered in hair. He looks like he and Rooster could be related in some ways.
Rooster?
Yeah, that guy.
All right.
So he's 80s metal hair.
I wouldn't say that, unless you're talking about like the 280s.
There's 280s?
Like 280 BC.
Okay.
As he steps out from behind Baronestra, he says, "Mom!" He runs forward, and his hair, all of it, is just like, as he gets to her and he gives her a hug. She sort of reaches down and pat. Dog, yes, we have company. Do behave. And this is what we're rolling with here.
Oh, yes.
This time.
A fur ball.
Kind of. Yeah, he's not.
He's probably prettier than Mel.
What do you mean? I would not even.
Shade.
I'm groomed.
Yeah, he's not even that. He's sort of intimidating despite the small stature. It's mostly due to the intense, crazed look in his eye, which are bright orange.
I withdraw most of that comment.
Wow.
He studies each of you, looking quite intelligent, despite his wild grooming habits. It's almost as if he's like looking inside of each of you, almost like his eyes sort of flash as they meet yours, and you feel like he's probing a little bit. He's got this lopsided snarl grin on his face, and as he looks at each of you, he sort of taps the skull that is on the belt around his waist, the middle one which holds that bright orange gem. Seeing all of these archfey together in the hallway, and Scarrett having walked off, you recognize that all of the gems in Titania's beard, like her veil beard, match those colors. All right. You are dismissed, Titania says to the rest of her family, and they all stalk away, again off to the left. So, you are in my company, and yet I have received no gift. Quoth gives you all a knowing look. Most of you a knowing look. What is it that you've brought me?
Your Majesty, the knowledge of Treant was to be our gift.
Okay, I already done that. I'm sorry. There's a lot to get mixed up here. This Treant Yeah, no, that's good, because it's... Yeah, I'm about to keep straight. This treant, what was his name?
Athos?
Athos, Your Majesty.
Athos. We will verify that. Where did you find him? In your world?
In the forest near where we slayed the beast.
What was this beast like?
Seemed like
Every owl bear.
a conglomeration of an owlbear and some sort of lion.
Was winged.
Seemed like an abomination,
An abominable creature in your world.
harming our people, harassing our trade routes.
Was it beautiful?
The
Its
way
life
that a
was-
powerful creature is beautiful.
Hey,
What?
he's just laying on the swing staring at me.
Good, maybe he'll be out there.
You don't want to come in?
No, I'm sad.
Oh, they're mean.
Trouble.
They're mean in there. They yell at me when I pee on stuff.
There's so many walls.
Miss,
How does anyone know this wall is my wall?
Yoga dog.
miss.
Remus! Remus! Nope. We almost had it. What? Hey. Hey, come here. Come here. You're sitting down.
Mom, I don't know what you want.
Come here.
But this is how I get treats, though.
Come here.
This is how I get treats, though, Mom.
Stay behind.
Alright.
I got the ranch.
Yes.
Up. Up. Here. Hey. Up. No.
This gift of knowledge is nearly enough to lit all of you. She snaps and you come back into existence, face first on the floor of the castle. Inside the palace, you recognize that you had seen from the outside. All of you, to escape with your lives, nearly enough. Nearly enough. Some is still left back. Some you still lack. Some you can do with a favor. So, what will it be? Death or a favor?
I brought us here to seek my sister, whom I have seen through the eyes of the beast in the times where you could catch glimpses of when it was happy, when it was joyous, when it experienced what you seem to represent. I don't know where to find her. She seemed to have been kept prisoner by this keeper, trapped in some way. Favor I ask is to find her
Oh, child.
and return her.
Oh, child, you ask too much.
I am willing to give as much.
The favor is owed to me, not to you, not to any of you. No, you will do me a favor or you will die. What will it be?
Perhaps I misworded something.
Perhaps you did.
I was
Both
stating
gives you a very worried look.
that in seeking this place, I am willing to do what is necessary for you to get us all out of here in this searching.
Now that I can abide. Favor first. Hey, Remus.
I want to go pee somewhere. These boots.
The favor I require of all of you is a simple one. Retrieve for me a book. A book. A book that is here in this very palace. That is the favor I ask. It's simple, is it not?
Does There's only one book that you require.
Yes, that is correct.
Can a mortal
You're a smart one.
can a mortal obtain this book?
Of course.
Why
Of course.
is,
Just,
why is this the favor that you require?
I just don't want to go get it. Just over there. She gestures off to the right.
Can you tell us about the book?
I would love to. It is the biggest, best book that I have ever written. The Chronicle of Bargains. In it, every record of every deal I have ever made. Ever.
Will there be any danger for us to get this book?
Doesn't matter. We have to do it.
Bring me the book, and we will discuss further favors. Veronestra, she calls off to her daughter down the hall. Would you show them through to the library, please? Of course, Mother.
What was the title of this book?
The Chronicle of Bargains.
Chronicle of Bargains.
Which I
Chronicle of
think
Bargains.
is one of which you just made a minute ago.
No, we just agreed to do this favor for her.
What if this favor that you made verbally has somehow been recorded in the Chronicle of Bargains?
Plausible.
Good.
So we're gonna go to the book. And that's the favor.
Let's go.
Okay. Veronestra leads you through. We're on page 3. Excellent. Alright, so around to the right side of the court chamber, Veronestra leads you into a huge derelict hallway. This hallway sort of matches the rest of the castle and of sort of being in ruin. The remnants of these giant warrior statues carved from stone stand watch on either side of this giant stained glass window that runs the length of the hallway. Let me get the right image here. Oh, that's so tiny. Wow, Teller. Wow. So mature. Alright, I think it's this way this time.
I said that's what she said.
Okay. So she leads you down through this derelict hallway.
That's nice, I guess.
It's beautiful.
It truly is. It's like a balance between nature and civilization. It's something that we seek to hold and maintain in our world.
The ceiling in this hallway is broken in many places, allowing the rays of the fading sun, the twilight, to fill the space. Veronestra gestures at the end of the hallway, which is kind of so long that it sort of fades into darkness at the end. Dim light, if we're mechanically speaking. Continue through here, and you may find the library. If you need any assistance, do feel free to call out for help. She gives a quick bow and then heads back towards the inner court. So, we'll do a smaller arc here. You can imagine, boom, you came in this way. Boom, boom, inner court. All the Fae went left, and you guys are going right down the hallway. Boom.
All the Fae went left, we're going right. Okay.
Yep. It's not really important, it's just y'all just went different directions. It's not going to be on the test.
Is this, before she walks off, is this the shortest route to the library?
It's the only route to the library. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so continuing down the hallway. At the end of the hallway, shaded in the dim light, there's an iron-banded wooden door that's about 20 feet tall. It's barred from this side, and you can see that the right side door is putting more pressure on the bar than the left. What do you do?
So, door,
Yep, double doors.
right side. It's
Yep.
putting more pressure, like it's trying to swing or is falling type thing.
More falling, you would infer.
Falling, and the left door is not doing anything.
That's correct.
There's a bar. You said there's a bar across it.
Yep,
Bar
on
across
this
it,
side.
kind of holding the right door up. That's kind of what looks to be supporting it.
Yep. Yeah, each door has two of those little iron like hooks that are holding the bar in place.
Logical thing would be to remove the bar, I guess.
Okay.
Unless the door falls on you.
Sure.
I
Stay
slightly
out of the way.
push the left side door just a little bit forward, as if it may swing the other direction.
It won't move because of the bar.
Okay.
You push the right one over. But the bar's like hooked in it.
How large are these doors?
About 20 feet tall, altogether 10 feet wide.
I'm gonna start trying to remove the bar, I guess.
Okay.
Standing on the left.
Is he in the restroom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. For me, I thought he was in there.
What happens if you push the bottom of the door that's like the right hand door that's falling?
Physically,
But it's
the
got,
hooks would catch that
Mhm.
bar
Okay.
and dig into it a little more.
So the top of the door seems to be leaning.
Yep.
I use Mage Hand to try to push against the top of the door as best I can.
Okay. It relieves some of the pressure from the bar. And now the bar is just sitting across the doors with no pressure from that right hand door.
Okay.
It won't push all the way in because of the way that the door frame catches it.
Okay. But it seems to be up against the frame now.
So I lift the bar up
Okay. Alright, the bar is removed. Mage hand is still holding the right side door.
and open the left door.
Okay.
You just
Inside.
lift the right door down.
Huh?
You can't hold it forever.
Just let the right hand door down.
Inside, you see the library.
Great.
Go this way this time. We took a bar off a door.
Yay!
We opened the
We
door.
did it.
So the door was barred on the side that you all were entering. Using Mage Hand, so the door was putting a lot of pressure on the bar because it was
Okay.
trying to fall. We used Mage Hand to hold the door up.
Okay.
Tell remove the bar, and we're now going into the library.
Nice.
How long can you keep Mage Hand on that door?
I'm pretty sure it's a concentration thing. Nah, it lasts a minute, apparently. Mel, do you have that immovable rod?
I don't want to use it for that.
Well, we
Can you
can
just lay the door down on the ground?
bring it with. That's possible.
Yeah.
Alright, I begin to move Mage Hand away to see how the door swings.
Over.
Alrighty then.
Other than an incredibly loud crash, the stirring of dust, nothing else seems to have happened. The door is just fallen, leaving the empty space. So entering the doorway, you find yourself in a round room full of bookshelves on every wall. You see that this section of the palace, the library, is in a similar state of ruin to the rest of it. Large sections of the wall and the ceilings have crumbled in, allowing trees and ivy to grow up and around the bookshelves. None of this growth seems to be on the bookshelves themselves, and the smell of old paper and damp earth fills your nostrils as you enter. Though there's not much dust here in the Feywild, just in general.
Just with
But still, you get the feeling that this area is not used very often. There is a lot of debris, fallen leaves, grasses, and things that are covering the ground in front of you. That's made of intricately carved stone tiles, but still you can see where dirt and grass have broken through. There seems to be some sort of placard in the middle of the floor, covered in dirt and dust as well. But again, you've got 1,000 books on 100 shelves in front of you. What do you do?
What does the placard say?
Hard to tell, but you dust it off, and you are able to sort of read.
Can we take a quick glance through and see?
Just set that up there. Nothing. Do what you need to do to solve it.
Oh, that's probably wise. The fake placards lie?
Not technically a fey, is it?
Somebody made
There you go.
it.
Can I lean on? I mean,
Yes.
It's sturdy.
Six letters in the sequence to reveal this.
Oh, take out SIXLETTERS.
What do you
Wait,
get?
what?
The letters, 6 letters.
Jesus.
No books. Here.
God damn.
Here. Here. Yeah. No books here. Is somewhere else we can look for the book?
Mel posits that there are no books here.
Wow. Okay.
Oh shit.
Right?
Holy shit.
I wouldn't have gotten that for like 10
No.
minutes.
I'm like on so
Yeah, me too.
books below.
It's the X. The X
The-
gave it away.
Russi.
Upon speaking the phrase, no books here, through the power of D and magic, in the back wall, in these stairs where you can see, like underneath the stairs, a door appears.
Door.
Oh, we just supposed to take it over. We would have had the real
Yeah.
solve.
There are 5 shallow holes cut into the iron band of the door, and they're arranged in a horizontal line.
Well-drawn door.
Thank you. The second
I wanna say
socket,
it's beautiful.
from the left contains a bright blue gem. The third contains an indigo gem. We can make this happen. I have markers for these colors. We can do this puzzle.
Pogo.
What's the color? Purple and
You
blue?
haven't done much enough for me.
Yeah, like an indigo and a bright blue.
No, dark. Oh. Oh, like dark purple, bright blue.
Yep.
Why you do that? You know better. You know better.
Okay, which one?
Here are
You just wanna
5.
do it?
Oh yeah, I can do it. That's fine.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's fine. Oh, that's I'm not gonna mark on the.
Okay.
I'm gonna mark on my art.
My dog.
I don't care.
Could you also give me a fuchsia,
I blame you.
an orange, and a green?
Oh, it was wet. Unexpectedly wet.
Title of your sex tape.
What?
Aw.
Well,
Close enough. Perfect.
Colors are hard.
It's okay.
yeah, right there. It's kind of fun. No. I don't know. Murder.
Doesn't absorb water very well.
Look at going.
Up.
Okay.
Oh, my favorite fry breath. Freddy fry breath.
All right, y'all. So I said that in the.
Okay,
Can you
I was
help me
like,
out?
you didn't color them at all.
So I said the indigo is in the second from the left.
When we're facing
No.
it?
The second is the bright blue gem. Yes, second from the left when you're facing it, bright blue. So there's a gap, then bright blue, then indigo, and then blank blank. All right, on the floor are the remaining 3 colors of gems that you see match the colors of the Archfey.
How was it on her mask?
That's what I was trying to remember.
She knows.
Well, but the front one is missing. Which?
Make me a. What is memory? I think memory is a wisdom check. So if y'all want to all make me a wisdom check, I'll do my best to give you the memory.
Wisdom check.
This little white thing came out of nowhere. Tail tip.
Right, lucky kids for Remus. Wisdom check? Remus, you were not helpful.
Remus, where are you? Remus, I want to give you love. I do love you, even though you pee on my stuff, bud. Oh, you pee on everything.
Which
Fine.
one of these, quote unquote, is like the gems that we've got, dickhead?
The pinkish one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It was on the floor.
Okay.
In front
Is
of
the
it.
purple one, then you're calling that indigo? And that's
Indigo.
the one that the queen had.
Yeah.
So the queen one was in the center. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the left of that one was the bright blue,
Right.
which was
Oberon.
Oberon. Now, if we're talking about, I'm talking about in the door. If we're talking about on the crown, so her indigo gem was in her
It's up here on the
forehead.
head, and then she
The
got.
bright blue was in the center of the beard, so to speak.
Okay.
What'd you get on your wisdom check?
16.
16's pretty good. How'd you do?
5.
5. Okay. Appropriate. You didn't even see it for long enough, you know?
Yep.
So that works out. Tell, how'd you do? 9. Okay. Single digits.
Wait.
Great.
Single digits.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, same.
You're our only hope. Scary.
You know how well I remember names.
Right? Dude, we can make this like a player challenge. If you can give me one of their names, other than Titania.
Younger.
All right. Well, you're all dead.
Imdar.
I mean, one of the Archfae's names.
Oh, just him?
Yep.
Dude, literally just that one.
Do you remember that job?
I speak into my ring.
You could theoretically, but that wouldn't help in this case.
See, this is what I do in the yard in the mornings, and he just sits there and watches me run around.
He's gonna exercise his master.
He won't actually bite your hand. He'll just put your hand in his mouth.
So he gets excited and she's like kind of fighting you. She'll like be like, ah, and then she'll like bite whatever is closest. And if that's you, then that's you.
Oh no.
She's not trying to bite you. She just sort of like gets really excited and she's like, ah. And maybe it's a blanket, or maybe it's a pillow, or maybe it's your arm.
But
like,
sometimes it's you.
sometimes it's you. If I just, not like super hard, but just like really abruptly, and it's like, oh.
All right, you failed. You play a challenge. Good luck on the door.
Cycron? Could have texted me.
Skrillex.
Oh, wait,
Oberon, but it only has to
It's
be
his
him.
challenge.
It's too late.
All right, so Oberon is out, and that was the easiest one.
It's the easiest one. And then Dov, and the
I
daughter
don't give
started
all the
with a
names.
V.
Okay, well, I guess the player challenge is failed then.
Mystery.
Well, yeah.
Close enough. Yeah. So there are the doors, and there's the door, and there are the gems, and good luck.
We just have some we just have like,
Try some combinations.
1,000 combos we can do here.
No, we've got less than 1,000.
So
Do you remember what color gems the other people had?
Yeah, these colors.
No. In order of their being shown.
as you
This
put
is
them in, hey,
dumb.
as y'all put them in and take them out,
I haven't put in.
be sure. I'm just saying, just be sure to narrate to me when you put them in and when you take them out.
Okay.
Go.
Out of the people who were introduced, what colors were they?
Dov was orange. Oberon was blue.
Oberon was first, so we've got the queen, her consort. I'm thinking it's kind of, to my right is this person. Who was the third person to be introduced? The chick
daughter?
that came through. She was wearing green.
Mm-hmm.
So
Really, she
I would
introduced
put
the
her-
antler guy first. The
that's true.
Skrillex first.
Thank you for.
He just kind of
making me
walked
feel
by
better about
first.
not
Oh,
remembering
you let
names.
us be more people?
You're there.
I was in the tree at that point.
Yeah, you were. That's right.
He was like, oh.
Because I think it has to do with the pecking order.
You'll get the pleasure of meeting the people.
So you got the Sealy Queen, her consort, maybe Skrillex dude, maybe the daughter. So I would say either this one or this one, and then it went back to
He was for sure last, the sun.
the sun, which would be this one.
Yeah.
So I would put. Is everybody in agreement with this kind of thought process. The orange one, and if you're
Okay.
facing the door, the far right.
All right. Okay.
I mean, why don't you just like try this and then try that?
Let's
And
put crazy weird antler dude just to the right of the queen. Just to the right of the middle.
Okay.
And then green far left.
Okay. You don't hear anything.
I
Like
tried
you're
the
not
door.
hearing like tumblers turning. You try the door, and it does not pull.
Okay. Then I would swap. So it goes the Sealy Queen's color over and to the left, orange to the left of that, going the other direction, green, then antler butt.
All right. You try the door. Again, it does not pull.
Anyone got any ideas?
What if it's not? So is the indigo gem stuck in the center?
Yes.
Okay.
When you say stuck, I mean it's placed there. You could move it if you wanted to.
So we don't know if that's the correct place.
That's correct.
Oh.
Okay. So what if it's not
Descending
about being
order?
in the center, but it's in descending order?
So we're gonna remove the Sealy Queens, put it on the far left, and then go in descending order of kids, followed by purple dude on the far right.
Okay. So we've got Titania, Oberon,
Oberon, green,
green, orange, purple, pink.
Skrillex.
And this is Skrillex. Oh my god, that's gonna stick. I just know it.
It has. I'm not gonna remember otherwise. Blame Mel. She's ugly.
You pull the door, and nothing happens.
Shit.
So-
okay, well,
I don't know where he falls in the pecking order.
Well, tell me, how did you reorganize them? Like that's what I was saying. Like you gotta tell me every action that you take.
So we simply remove the queens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove all of them first.
Okay.
And then start with the queen on the far left,
Okay.
closest to the handle. Oberon, green, orange, pink.
Okay. Then the same thing happens. Yes. Same thing that I just described happened. You pull it.
Nothing happened.
Nothing. No tug. Yep.
Take them all out again.
Okay.
Start again with the queen,
Okay.
purple douche,
Okay.
Oberon, green, orange, and try the door.
Okay. Same thing. Nothing happens.
we could put them like the order they would be in a rainbow. That's an order.
That's pretty. Try that.
Do we have infinity tries here?
As far as you can tell, nothing's happened.
Orange, green,
So
blue,
far.
indigo, violet. He just keeps calling it indigo. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I take them all out and I put them orange, green, blue, indigo,
A
violet.
pot of gold appears under the door.
Do that one again.
Same thing. Tugging on the door. No dice.
So we've got
I need this other music.
Go
for this.
Dude, Queen. Which one was this one? Dolph. What were the
Oberon,
Oberon?
queen, stag, guy, daughter, son, Vilindria, and dog.
And one of the first ones we tried was her, Oberon, son, daughter, Skrillex.
I think we did daughter, son, but yeah. Because the daughter was introduced first, I guess, and we don't remember what order
No,
was in
the son
math.
was introduced.
He was not.
Yeah.
He ran out after
Oh, no,
everybody else.
Oberon was. Yeah, you're right.
Was the dragon in the throne room? How do they sit in the throne room? Can we remember anything from looking in there? Can I try to remember something?
Yeah, what are you trying to remember?
I'm trying to, well, just what we saw. Like, I mean, that they would have their thrones lined up in a certain way.
Yeah, the dragon
Okay.
throne was in the center, right?
The dragon,
Dragon
one.
throne was in the center.
But was it a color? Who'd be a dragon?
Can I try one more thing real quick?
Yes, you can.
Because I've been giving it pondering thought. I'll hold the Sealy Queen's gem.
Okay.
I will then put, that's not hers. I'll put Oberyn, the girl, orange, this, leave the last one blank, and try the door,
Okay.
holding the Sealy Queen's color. Because there's a
Okay.
blank one on her veil. Hers was technically not in the line, and I want to say the blank one was on the far right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it was. So holding the Sealy Queen's gem in your hand, you grip the door handle. You're sure. You pull, and nothing happens.
So go with that throne room idea.
Well, I don't have any throne room
I push.
information.
I'm sorry. I wish that was
Oh
it.
my
I'm sorry. I wish that was
God.
it. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I should just let it
Can
happen.
we-
Damn it.
Too late. You
It
said
is.
it in.
I know. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Ah.
Kick the door.
Can we put hers up here? In any way? Like
That's just a crack in the masonry.
yeah.
You could fix it with the immovable rod, but it would
Okay.
probably fall
Not
out.
worth it. Not
Yeah.
worth it.
So, can I recall if there was anything different about the chairs in the court?
You probably could. There was the one with the dragon behind it. Other than that, they were all pretty standard. I mean, they were all fancy, woven with vines and leaves and things. Other than that, nothing really special.
If there were 6, when did they make this door that there's only 5?
Is this indigo?
Yes.
Did we already? No. No. I don't think I can do that.
We just start trying combinations.
I mean, I feel like she would sit in the middle and he would sit on her right. Just how it was in the door to begin with.
I can believe that.
Plus it being there in the first place, you could obviously move it, but it would be easier just to take some out when you left. Or whatever. And then, I don't know. I would put Pink Dude over here and then the son last and the daughter here.
Okay.
Let me try the door.
Yep. Same deal.
And we probably tried that already anyways.
Take all the jewels out and try the door.
Okay.
Okay. You take all of the jewels out. You pull on the handle. The door swings open.
Balls.
The door swings open
I throw the gems far down
Damn
the
it,
hallway
I'm not
that I
even
can.
surprised.
into the door.
No.
Okay, out of the hallway.
Just
Perfect.
Fuck those gems.
I knew a little long, you guys. I was just trying to see if y'all could figure it out.
I retrieve them and put them in the big holding. They're pretty.
This shit's gonna be worse.
They probably want to keep it, you guys.
We don't know.
Do you know what cute zirconia is in this room?
No, it's not about. It's so sparkly though. We've seen creatures with different colored gems. I was just thinking if they really tie to anything, maybe they might react in certain situations.
I'm glad you were thinking clearer than I am.
Quit throwing stuff!
It's a natural reaction to frustrating.
This is why we don't have nice
instances.
things!
He sets the
We've never had
library on
anything.
fire.
Oh, we used to have a wagon and a horse.
Then it disappeared on my watch.
No, didn't say that.
The Fae bringing out supporting hostility.
Maybe we
My
should take
goodness.
an innocent set in case we have to use them to get back out the door.
Yeah, we'll have them in the bag.
Alright.
All right, so through the door,
That works.
you can see into the entirety of a room. The room is made of stonework. This room, unlike the ones before it, is not broken in any way. You see the ceiling 10 feet overhead. You see these walls on either side go 30 feet down. They end in a wall about 20 feet wide. At the corner, at each of the 4 corners of this room, this 20 by 30 foot room, there are 4 braziers burning brightly, lighting the room inside. You enter the room, and nothing so far has happened. The door is still open behind you. The stone walls around you completely unadorned. What do you do?
As I start entering the room, I want to say something about how. Ooh, I'm gonna ask Mel to put the immovable rod near the door so it can't close on us.
Okay.
Okay. Question about immovable rods.
Mhm.
Can someone else come along and move my rod?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's. I don't
It's a
even.
button.
Yeah, I think it's just a button.
Okay. I do it, but I'm skeptical.
Okay. The door. I mean, you can pull the door shut to the point of the rod, and no further. And nothing has happened so far.
Maybe we gotta close the door.
Maybe we
for
should
the
shut the
room to
door.
act.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
We're in a squarish room,
20 by 30. Yep.
20 by 30. No hallway. Just
There's
a
No
door
hallway.
we
Nothing
enter.
in it at all.
That's correct. Braziers. 4 braziers.
Are they lit?
They're lit.
Can I cast a spell in the one?
You could try. I mean, yeah. I mean.
What are you intending on burning the spell slots for?
I'll cast Hunter's Mark. Another one on. I don't
On a
think I
brazier?
can cast into anything. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I'm just making
I
sure. Just checking.
I'll touch like the edge of the brazier and cast Hunter's Mark and see if it has any reaction to.
Okay. It is an inanimate object, and as far as you can tell.
Close the door.
All right. Pick up the rod. Let the door close. Almost as expected, the door sort of fades into the wall. You are now completely enclosed in this 20 foot by 30 foot room. On the left wall, in a burning, flowing golden script, this line appears.
Suck it, bitch.
The more you have of it, the less you see. What is it?
darkness.
At the utterance of Mel's word,
Jeez.
At the utterance of Mel's word, the braziers in the corners are out. Those of you with dark vision, as your eyes adjust, you can no longer see those walls 20 feet and 30 feet away that you saw before. The darkness extends infinitely as far as you can tell.
I go ahead and just dancing lights.
Okay? The dancing lights have no effect beyond a tiny radius around the center of the light. It doesn't shed light in this place.
So it's more like specs.
Yeah. It's almost like this is magical darkness.
Who doesn't have dark vision?
I do.
I think he does.
Yeah, about the door.
I think so. All of you do. Yeah, that was just an all-inclusive statement for all of you that do
Oh,
have
that's
it.
nice.
Straight did not, and I think that's what we're thinking of.
Indar wouldn't have.
All right, so with no point of reference, it's hard to tell where you're standing or how, but a message appears again in the same burning, flowing script, almost as if it's written overhead in the sky. At night they come without being fetched. By day they are lost without being stolen.
Stars.
At the utterance of your word,
Jesus.
the text vanishes. One star pops into existence, and then another, almost like a bag of popcorn, like, you know, catching. Hundreds and thousands of stars begin to pepper the sky. There's one patch that is left without stars, however, and it says, "Until I am measured, I am not known." This is the script appearing in the sky. At the utterance of Mel's word, damn,
Oh my God.
that was quick.
Goodness.
At the utterance of Mel's word, you all begin to fall through this endless sky. You feel the muscles, the bones in your body weakening. Those of you, if you could see, I don't think that you. Yes, okay. So the starlight produces a dim light on each of your comrades. You can see that the skin on their faces grows wrinkly and taut, and their faces grow sunken, almost as if they've aged 100,000 years. Each of you crumble into dust.
Ew.
That dust swirls, coalesces into other
I
forms.
never wanted to know you like this.
Each of you are brought into being again from a child up into the age that you currently are. This whole thing lasts maybe 10 seconds.
Is it one of those, like, are we currently aware of being, like, turned to a small body through
Yeah.
a type 2
Yes.
concept?
Yep.
Okay.
Same deal. Same deal. It's like you know what's going on even though you have no reason to know what's going on. Almost as if someone's sending me lewd pictures.
Meredith.
It's Taylor.
Agreements.
Nude dog pics.
Oh.
Nah.
Not Corey.
No, she didn't send me
Why?
nude pictures. No.
I said those are wrong.
That was enough to distract me.
Sorry.
All right, so you all have formed and re-aged to your current age. You're still in the room with the stars and still falling. In that same patch of sky, another text appears. This one is almost as if a kid has grabbed a crayon and is scribbling it. That flowing script, no more. This is just blah. It's red, blue, purple, and green. No one can reach it, not even the queen. What is it? What is it?
A rainbow.
It is a rainbow. At the utterance of Mel's words. This is not even fun.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. This is good.
I would have just sat there like.
I'm thinking, are those the colors of everybody else in the court? Is that, you know?
So at the utterance of Mel's word, at some distance beneath you, how far? You can't tell. You have no points of reference. This thin line appears. The line is a bright white light. The white light diverges into 7 distinct colors, and those bands of color start to get wider, almost as if you're getting closer to it. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and as soon as it's wide enough to hold you all, you hit the rainbow pretty hard. Make me a dex save.
Did that
Oh,
save?
wow.
Natural 1.
Oof.
Oh.
13.
20.
20.
15.
Okay. 15.
Little +6 to my saving throw.
What does that get you?
7.
7. Okay. So 7, 20, 13, or
No, 13, 20. No, 15.
7, 15, 20, 13.
Sorry, there's one that
It's
says
okay.
Dex +5 and then Dexterity says +2.
It's that dex plus 5 up at the top.
Oh,
At the top.
10.
Yep. Okay. And 10.
Why
Right.
is it different?
1d6. Wait, what'd you get? No. 2d6.
Because of your proficiency.
Wait,
so
you
it's
roll-
added in, on the saving throw, you add in your proficiency
Yeah, I'll
if
do
you're
that.
proficient in it.
Makes
which
more
should
sense.
be +3 right now.
Alright, so 9, 5. You got a 25. You got a
13.
9 and
10.
9.
I'm unconscious. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, there's no way.
Wait, what?
That's how much damage you've taken from
Oh,
falling.
so rolling higher, I took more damage.
No.
No,
Oh, I thought you said
I
9.
took 5.
Oh, okay, 5.
For not listening, you took 10.
I was listening.
Boom! Back to the tree.
No, we have not rested or healed since our battle that.
That is correct.
So everybody's still down probably 10 HP. Sorry, fam.
That is also
Oh,
correct.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You've landed on the rainbow. Pushing into it, it feels completely solid. Behind you, about 10 feet, you see what you assume is the end of it. It's a shimmering mist of rainbow colors that springs forth, pushing the other way. From that point, though, it seems to push on into infinity. What do you do?
Does this look like a riddle to you?
Yes.
I mean, we can stay here or we can go over there.
In the same kind of kiddish scribble in the sky, you see them draw an arc, and then you see them draw another arc, and then you see them draw some lines and a cloud. You realize it's a butt farting. That's all. That's it. That's it. What do you do? That's it.
Can I try to fart?
There's only one.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Please shit your pants. Please.
Yeah, what kind of safe is that?
What did you eat last?
Oh
God,
That's gonna determine the DC.
Probably at
Garlic bread.
the ale, right? Or probably at the inn.
Okay.
We don't really.
Damn, y'all need to eat more.
No, we ate when we camped out in the woods.
Do you eat them berries?
I ate them good berries.
Do you eat them gnarly?
He would have been foraging, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Great mud butt.
Kind of
We started with poop jokes, we're back to poop jokes.
I'm trying to decide.
Is this
Whoa, I don't think it's gonna matter, friend.
Make
Yeah.
I don't think I want to make you make a check. Cause it's like you're pretty wise. You would know whether to trust the fart or not.
I rolled a 20.
Oh, okay. You trust the fart, and it's just, hold on, I got this ready. Perfect. Nailed it.
Anything?
Huh?
Anything?
I mean, it just stinks a little.
Is there's only one direction of the rainbow?
Yes.
Try again in that direction.
Sort of waddle it.
Just walk around and like crop dust everything. Anything?
I'm gonna start towards the rainbow mist of infinity.
Okay.
I can't stay here forever with this.
You can tell that you're making progress away from the coalescing mist behind you,
Me?
but well done. Did I just kick my dog? Okay, good. I'm glad it was your feet and not my dog. Oh, okay. Let me think. Oh, that was good. Yes, you can tell visually that you're making progress. At some point, though, you've left that origin point so far behind that it spans in either direction, far enough that you can't really tell.
Great.
All right. Is anyone following Mel into
Yeah,
infinity
I'll follow her.
on the rainbow?
Is there like an edge to the rainbow that you could fall off of?
You could go try.
I pushed it.
Mage hand him with me.
I mean, you can go try.
10 pounds. 10
I want
pounds.
to go and see if there's an edge and what that's like.
All right. So you walk over yellow and then orange and then red and hang your hand over infinite darkness. You put your hand down and there's nothing beyond that red line where it ends. I mean, it ends very cleanly, crisply. You know, dangle your feet off. You could do chin-ups
So we
from
got
it
a
if you
thing going
want.
one way, and what was back the other direction?
That was like the origin point of the rainbow. There was like a small cloud of coalescing mist that was sort of jumbling up, like it's almost spitting out rainbow a little bit. But there was nothing back behind that.
And
Okay.
Like literally nothing. Like just nothing.
is the childish drawing still there?
I would say that after Tim has farted, it was hastily erased.
No.
Can I take one of my bullets and drop it off the edge?
Yes.
And then
Down a bullet.
see if it like comes down again or if I ever see it again or anything.
All right. So you drop it
It's like horrible.
Yeah.
and you wait. You count an even 5 count, and you hear on the rainbow back behind you.
I'll go pick up my bullet.
Okay.
So
You
we're
gain one
following.
bullet.
I'm following Mel. Anybody else coming with?
How did you drop that again?
Huh?
How did you drop that again?
Like over
Over
the
the
edge.
edge of the rainbow.
And it showed up.
Behind us at
On
the
the
beginning
rainbow.
of the rainbow.
I'd like to see your bullet,
Why? No, I get it.
and I try to throw it as high as I can.
Okay. It lands off, 30 feet that way.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily loop back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I-
following Mel.
I have a lantern and oil in a tinderbox. Can I light my lantern?
Mm-hmm.
I do that. Like this.
All right. So the rainbow itself seems to be giving off some light. You see reflected the colors as you walk over them. That reflected light sort of changes. The lamp itself doesn't seem to be putting off much light. I mean, you're shining light onto a light source, and
Like the fire thing you did.
okay. So continuing on, you get to a point again where you can't tell really which way the rainbow origin and end are. Make me a survival check.
We live here now.
It's very easy to get turned around here.
20.
Nat 20.
So plus anything?
It's very easy for other
Nat
people.
20.
4.
10.
Alright, so it's easy for other people to get turned around here, not for you all.
I had plus 4.
You all are very, very well versed in keeping direction with no reference points whatsoever.
We got the colors of the rainbow.
I think that's actually like one of my
Well, I mean, there's only one direction, really.
most
Right?
except
Like
by
for-
math.
You know, I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, what?
The fact that there's a
If you
rainbow.
just keep like
and
red
so
on your right
red's on
side
your right,
the whole
you're
time.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm so glad y'all are smarter than me.
Red's on the right.
It
Yeah.
makes this
So you
game
turn
fun.
around and you're obviously going the other direction than
Yep.
what you
Yeah.
had been
That's
going.
correct. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of that already.
I guess.
Go ahead.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I guess I
ahead.
was thinking that in my head.
You're a good boy.
It just seems
Like-
like
That's why you roll it out.
if you don't turn around, then you're not gonna get turned around.
Alright, so you continue on with red on your right side all the way down the rainbow. With no reference to time, you feel like you've walked maybe 10, 20 minutes, you're not really sure. You see this dark orb-like structure ahead. Hard to tell how tall it is, and you see this humanoid figure lounging on top of it. It's at the sort of the edge of your vision here. What do you do?
Say hello.
Oh,
You get
God.
better vision on that.
Oh yeah, I look at it through the scope.
You
Alright,
got,
so
like,
pulling
really
your gun
down.
out of the bag of holding.
Don't you have
Um,
a spyglass? Oh, the spyglass
You're
is
not.
fixed to the scope.
Well, the spyglass is the scope.
You level the spyglass at the structure and the figure, whatever it is. You see this humanoid figure, bright red hair, dressed mostly in green. He's laying on this black cauldron that seems to be full of gold.
Okay.
Well, there's
Pretty
the-
sure we
Seems to
don't
be
want to make any
sleeping. I
deals
don't know if I
with
said
this
that
one,
part.
you guys.
I said lounging. He seems to be sleeping. Eyes are closed.
It's some sort of relative of Rooster, lying on a pound of gold.
My brothers are not here. I wouldn't know.
I don't know, look at this guy and I hand Rooster the gun with the scope and tell him to look that way.
Okay. So this may be the first time you've ever looked through a gun or a scope.
Probably.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's like a crossbow. It's not too different. You've maybe held a crossbow before.
Have you seen Dances with Wolves?
Oh yeah, many times.
When they crest the hill and they're all trying to get any hands on the spyglass and it looks so easy.
That's
one of
that's
the-
Robin Hood. That's Robin Hood.
What's that?
Yeah, because he like tries to level his. It's Kevin Costner.
Oh,
it's
that's
still
right.
Kevin
That's
Costner.
right. They did that.
But he like levels his sword. How did your people ever take the Holy Land?
They had a similar instance though in
Was it in Dances with Wolves?
yeah. I think there was just surprise when they were looking at the buffalo. I think it was just surprise and he does like a weird look at it.
So Rooster looks through the
Like
scope,
4 hours.
sees
4
the
hours,
small
4
green creature.
hours.
He's light frame, almost like he's no mission build, if he is of a height with you. Sleeping
might-
again apparently. Everyone's got a spyglass. That's not true.
It's hip.
So again, at the edge of your vision is this creature sleeping on a pot of gold. What do you do?
Is there anything else around?
Not that you can see at the moment.
I'm gonna walk up to him.
I will. You know what? I will retcon that answer. Behind him, there is a bit of coalescing mists, like a cloud, like the rainbow has ended.
Can I do a check?
Yeah.
What would it be?
What are you trying to do?
I don't know. He says there's nothing else, but like. Maybe there's just
Maybe there is. Maybe there's not.
I can
Make any
promise
inferences?
that there's nothing else at this time.
Okay, fine.
Pinky swear. As a DM and not one of those lying things. Faye don't lie.
Okay.
One of those tricksy fae.
Trixie. Trixie is a good word for it.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Okay. As you approach, he remains asleep.
Say, hey, sir.
At your... What's the word I'm looking for? You kind of shout, and it sort of startles him. You, whoa! Cling, 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 cling. Coins fall to the ground. What's going on?
I don't know. We just sort of appeared here. How do we get out?
We're looking for the library.
You go through the door.
Where's the door?
It's right here.
Where? I don't see it.
He points again, and sure enough, there's a door.
Thanks, bud.
So rude.
I tried the door.
You should really be more polite.
Do you need anything?
He grabs his pot of gold. Like he lives. I mean, I'm talking. This thing is like. Okay, so this thing is like 4 feet around. He's maybe 3 feet tall. He grabs the entire pot of gold and just poof, jumps off the rainbow, leaving you with a few gold coins scattered on the ground and a door.
Dibs.
I'm not touching those.
I do.
Hmm.
I know how you go through money.
Do that.
I mean, if you were to pick them up, you would find 17 gold pieces on the ground.
I picked up 17 gold pieces. on the
17
ground
gold pieces from the ground.
in my personal stash.
Would you mark them down as 17 LGP for leprechaun gold pieces?
Okay.
Yep, not touching that shit.
I'm just.
So I tried the door.
You try the door.
17.
You walk up, you grab the door, you pull on it. Yeah. Okay. So as you grip the handle, you pull back on it. It opens a little bit. The entire door slams
You
open.
want this? You want this?
There's a giant fist of orangish energy that comes through and just punches you square in the fucking face, knocks you on your ass. As it does, it releases its fingers, grabs the door, slams it shut again. Roll me a d6.
Probably somewhere in the middle of picking up gold pieces. The hell?
4.
A 4. Take 4 damage.
Mel, can I see that immovable rod?
Why?
I want to
Think
try.
about what you're about to do. I'm gonna open the door using the immovable rod.
No, can I see it?
Why?
I want to try to keep the door open.
So it can punch you more.
That'll be fine.
I walk over to the door and knock.
Okay.
Anything?
You hear nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Try the bell. Just kidding.
Can I have the immovable rod?
I stand to the side of the door and mage hand it open.
Okay. The door opens.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Through it, you can see a brightly lit courtyard.
What the fuck did they get punched for?
Probably a one-time trigger. Check the door for traps.
Could be that you weren't very polite.
It wasn't either.
I knocked.
You knocked.
No, you
I
can't
walked
have
through
it.
the door.
Leprechaun told you, be more polite. All right, so you walk through the door, you get on the floor. Everybody walks the
No.
dinosaur. We have to have at least one walk the dinosaur every session. Oh no, I don't have a picture. Okay, cool. I can do this.
Imagine.
Dig, if you will, a picture. So opening the door, it is again lit in a similar fashion to the rest of the Sealy Court Castle. The courtyard is ringed about by a walkway that is made of stone and has almost like a railing, like a porch railing. I'm doing a really poor job of this. So grass courtyard in the middle. Let's do some drawing. How about that? Yes. Let's do some drawing. Grass courtyard in the middle. Circle there. Ringed about by a stone walkway. That has walls that have archways cut out of them that are see-through. All right, so the green square is the courtyard.
Okay.
You guys are entering through the door at the bottom.
Okay.
There's a stone walkway all around the courtyard. The courtyard is completely grass.
What's in the center circle?
In the center, there is a circle. You can tell that it's a circle, not because you can see it, but the grass in about a 20-foot radius is discolored. In the center of this discolored 20-foot radius of grass, there is a pedestal. A white pedestal comes up about 3 feet high. And you see on there is a giant tome.
Oh.
Again, it's about 60 feet away at this point. You can't really make out what the cover of the tome says, but there it is.
Can you scope the book?
Yeah, I'll look at the book.
Okay. The title is The Chronicle of Bargains,
I think that's it.
written in that same flowing script
Neighborhood.
that you saw before.
You wanna try Mage Hand?
If we use 2, can it carry 20 pounds?
Yes,
Is
can.
it bigger? How big is it again? Sorry.
Hmm?
How big is
It's a
the
big book.
You have mage hand?
Yeah.
Invisible mage hand.
You've got invisible. How long have you had invisible mage
I've
hand?
used it
When I
the
was
whole
around?
time. Yeah.
When was I around?
Well, I mean,
Nice.
you as a
I know
player
I
have been
did.
here.
I
She used it a lot when you snuck off.
in game. I don't think I'm aware in game that you've
Oh,
I would
see.
believe that.
Yeah.
around a mage hand.
It's the best kept secret
Invisible.
in all of Collais.
How do you know the arcane arts? Is this something you've practiced and studied? Or is this something that you just magically were able to do one day?
Yeah. I've known as long as I can remember. Can we just do this thing?
You're cramping his style now.
Let's do this thing.
Yeah, we can talk about invisible hand later.
I mean, I have cast spells while you've been around.
Yeah. I know there have been some trickish things that rogues could do in that respect, or stealthy individuals. I don't know what it would be. Mage hand just seemed a little bit more
It was my thing.
Sorry.
wizardry and sorcery oriented. Because I think I've only seen you cast sleep when around.
I've used Booming
That's true.
Blade.
That's true.
That's fair.
I've used, well, everything, but I guess maybe you weren't necessarily there for like charm person, disguise self, silent image,
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Okay.
But you may not know.
Well, a little bit surprised. Let's grab a book.
Do it.
Okay.
Okay.
You can see my hand. This is
So you can
big.
see mine too. May as
This is
well.
big. You've seen Aladdin, I'm sure, at some point in time. The genie's hand when it's dancing down the cave.
Yeah.
That's my hand's a big 3-fingered.
Okay.
Ninja Turtle hands.
So again, there is this bright green courtyard, yellow green grass in the center. At the center of that is the pedestal. Each of you line up. Where are you guys? In the circle? Out of the circle?
I'm outside.
I was gonna.
We're 30 foot away because that's
Okay.
the distance of my hand.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so you're 10 feet outside the circle. Both of you reach for the book at the same time. Your mage hands hit where the grass transitions and are stopped.
Okay. I thought they were gonna like disintegrate for a second.
I mean, that's one way to think about it. It's like, you just can't push into it. It's just, once you push 10 pounds of force into that wall, so to speak, it's gone.
I walk up to the circle and try to tap through with my staff.
Okay? I mean, there's no stopping the staff. The staff is fine.
Interesting.
We have to grab it without like, magic.
Potentially. I stick my hand into the circle.
Okay? No resistance. Nothing happens.
I stick my hand into the circle and I cast with it dancing lights right there within the circle.
All right. The magic is unable to leave your hand inside the circle.
Your hand implodes.
I think this is an anti-magic field. I bet this whole area is an anti-magic field.
Can we grab it and leave?
How I've seen you hook beasts with your
How far is it away?
20 foot, I
It's
believe.
20 feet.
You've shown great strength. I have some rope.
I also have rope.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
All right. I may need a hand getting out of this. I'd like to harness myself with the rope, have Rooster and Co. ready to pull, and I'm going to walk in and grab the book. I'm going to walk in and inspect the pedestal and around the book.
All right. So you've
First.
tied yourself about with rope.
Yes.
Okay. And then you cross the threshold.
Yes.
Come with me. I don't know where to do this. I gotta figure out where it's silent.
Remus, tell us what he says.
It's gonna echo. Where? Get him, Remus.
Remus.
I don't know. They're having secrets. Secrets don't make friends.
Secret stuff.
So sacrifice one of your party. We already did.
is like my favorite tune. This is like my jam.
It just goes on and on and on. The exact same thing.
Like, this is what I listen to at work, just like.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay. This is about to make you sore.
If you know only watch movies.
Like halfway.
Corey, it's been hours.
It's so hard to make it around that corner with socks on.
Yeah.
That's done yet. No, Meredith! Oh my gosh.
They had to destroy your face before they came out.
No, we didn't.
Got some.
Get some lipstick right there.
Okay. So Tim has
But okay.
Tim
Taken-
just became a man.
Tim has taken one step inside the circle. The rope is still around his waist. Rooster's still holding at the other end of it. Okay.
I
You.
approach the pedestal and inspect it and the book like I said I was going to.
All right. So yes, the book in that same flowing script is inscribed "The Chronicle of Bargains." You open it up, flipping through it. It's like there are more bargains than there are pages. It's kind of weird. Like it's almost like it's a magical book or something. Like you keep flipping, but you're not getting
So, like,
closer to
every-
the end.
Okay.
Kind of deal.
So like, even if I flip to the very end and open
You
up
could flip to the
afterwards.
very end. Yes, you could. The last page is blank. The page before that is, I mean, just some other dude's contract.
Is it our contract?
Flipping back, no, you see nothing that way. Flipping back 4 or 5, you see the name Quoth and blah 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 blah, Meliorn, blah 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 blah, Green Knight, blah 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 blah.
Would I have some sort of writing utensil with me?
I can see that. You know, you're sort of scholarly.
I pull
Yeah.
out the
Like
number-
quill and ink or something, sure.
Yeah,
in your
and I
bag.
make a small mark at the first blank available entry spot and just see if it holds.
It does not.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, no, it does not.
Okay.
Hey, Yolyn, what do you see?
The book.
Grab it and let's
So
go.
many bargains in here, bro.
It talks about quote.
Yeah, it should.
Have you ever seen his entry before?
No.
It's interesting.
Yeah, last time I was here, they showed it to me.
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Well, grab it and let's get out of here.
Well, look at this.
What does it say?
It says, quote, it's kind of talking about when you first disappeared in, like, your home and such. And part of the bargain, it was protecting you.
Protecting me from what?
I think it has to do with that spyglass of yours. What is the symbol on it? You have that with you?
How would they have known that I was involved with the spyglass?
I suspect, quote, part of the bargain seems to be what's going on in here. Here, look at this.
He left before I met my wife and everything, right?
Yes.
You told me to come look at this?
Yeah.
I guess I go to the book.
Come with me. Here.
So I wanted to be a new sexcapade.
He has no standard.
At least it doesn't take very long.
Right.
It was
That's
quick.
why they bought that sofa for in there.
It was satisfying, though. You try to follow that up.
It was faster.
You're a good boy.
How was it?
Hmm?
Yeah.
You're right. There's something about the spyglass on here. Mel, don't you have the spyglass too? It mentions the spyglass. You should come look at it. Hey Remus. Hey Remus.
Okay. I hesitantly go look at it as
Alright.
well also.
Okay.
He's going around tonight.
Sexcapade.
Honestly, this is kind of nice. It's wearing him out and the dog out. They'll both sleep.
Where does Remus sleep?
In bed with you guys?
Mm.
In bed with you guys?
Yeah.
No,
Snuggled up.
I would die.
If ever you leave and it's just Corey here for the night.
I'll murder.
You're gonna be like, why is my side
Macy
so
can tell you that's how Lula was initially spoiled on it. One of her friends house sat.
For the first year of her life, she was not allowed in bed with me. And then one of my girlfriends watched her when I went out of town, and she was like, "Yeah, she's great. She's totally great. She laid in bed with me every night and snuggled. We loved it." I was like, "Oh, you broke her."
So does she sleep with y'all now?
No.
No, not anymore. She did for a while before she started to have back issues.
I'd say no. There are times at night where if we go to bed at an earlier hour and we're just chilling, redditing or whatever it may be, she'll sit up there with us. But
She's
she's
a
gonna
bed
just-
hog.
It's cool.
yes,
She's a
she is.
horrible
She
bed
is.
He's so happy.
I don't know what's going on, but I like this.
Well, they don't know what's going on either, so it's okay.
You don't do that to me.
No, Remus, up. Up.
I literally have never met you people before.
Tell you what. Up. Up. Now you just want treats because you know say this is the basic treat trick. You crazy. Okay, so the three of you are now in the circle. The book is still in the middle of the circle on the pedestal. What do you do? What do any of you do?
Doesn't this deal with like the symbol here does not have to do with gods and deities and such?
I think
Is
so.
that Freya, do you have any understanding of the
I'm actually calling cord right now. So
The number you have
We're
dialed is no
sorry.
longer in service.
God,
Damn it, that changed numbers again.
God. Why don't you like me anymore?
The number you've dialed is not accessible from this region.
You will be charged $100.
Roaming.
The person you're trying to reach has rejected the collect call.
That's irrelevant. I don't even know what
It
this
just
is.
teleports back to where you are.
It's a Nokia 5165. I'm just glad it worked anyway.
So,
I feel uncomfortable.
yeah, outside the circle, you and Rooster.
There's no reason to feel uncomfortable. We're just all looking at the book.
there's some info in here that deals into Tells Pass and quotes contract that seems more than what we've heard in the past, and we're trying to just glean more of this whole thing.
Talks
Okay,
about
I'll wait
the-
here.
Talks about the Archfey and our scopes, our spyglasses, and
But there's something in some language that I don't know.
yeah,
Do you
and
guys
the
know
cults
what
and
that
everything.
is?
I
No,
don't speak language.
it looks like it looks like Sylvan or something like that. I can't tell.
Bring it to me.
We can't. It's stuck.
That much is true. Trying to lift the book, turning to the end is one thing. Trying to lift the book from the pedestal proves impossible.
I kind of
Like,
like
it's
beat
stuck.
at it a little bit. Like, I'm not strong enough to. I don't know. All I have is a stagger.
I try to use.
What kind of a pedestal is it on?
I would say it's the same sort of stone as the courtyard around, as the walkway that encases the courtyard.
But it's like a
kind of like marble, kind of like limestone. I don't know. It's
like
kind
a
of
very
like
wide stone.
I see what you're saying. Yes. Yeah. Like imagine like just a bird bath with a book in it. It's kind of like
Okay,
that.
so maybe a little skinnier.
Yeah. Skinnier at the body and then wider at the top.
Can you just pick up the base?
You want to try to lift the side of
No,
it?
try.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
What?
It's
Isn't
okay.
it great?
Embrace it. Literally, embrace it.
Roll
I
four.
just
I
want to
don't
love
think we're strong
you.
enough.
Rooster, you want to get us in the end of this thing?
Rooster, do you know anything about the stone?
Do you want me to be able to pull you out if you get stuck in there, or do you want me to come in there? And
Yes, love.
nobody
What if, okay, no. That's fair. Okay. Anchor yourself, and both of us will try to move the pedestal, and you pull from outside the circle. Because I would work.
I'll help
rope
you
to it?
pull.
We've got a rope tied to me. So I could just walk around the pedestal one time, like brace up against this thing.
Okay.
Okay. Corey,
Wait.
Sorry.
that's fine. Sorry, I forgot you guys have a newborn.
What's
kid,
up? What
kinda.
happened?
You got a kid. So we've got
So what
the
has
idea. Rooster and Freya have got the rope and are going to try to pull Tim and I, and probably Mel, you're going to be able to give a hand too. And we're all going to try to lift and tug this pedestal out of the circle.
Remus, come here. Come here. Let's go watch the dragon. Come here.
Oh, that's so Is this of interest to you?
Okay, let's think about it.
Is that what you guys are all down with this? To give this a whirl?
To try and
Oh,
pull
I thought you were talking
all
about the
things?
text. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
So you're tying the rope
Oh.
around the pedestal.
No, it's around me.
It's around
It's
him.
around you.
Yeah, and I'm there with the pedestal, and we've all got hold of the rope, and it's going to basically be a pulling contest.
Yeah, between
Between those
Those
two
two.
and us three in the pedestal. Well, it's really
you're
us
trying to like
five.
Leave
lift
the
the pedestal.
pedestal.
Right,
Yeah.
we're trying to get the pedestal out.
So you're like anchoring yourself to the pedestal while they pull.
Yeah, and we're gonna try
You're gonna
to.
be pulling. Wait.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Does that work?
Yeah. Okay.
The lift or the jet
All right.
isn't a bad idea, but it'd be too small.
Everyone- Everyone, roll me athletics. Athletics.
16!
5 with my +4.
27.
A million. 17.
What Mason would Freya get?
16.
Okay, so the base does not move, and those that are pulling on the rope from outside pull those of you inside, like down, on the ground.
Okay.
They're pulling with the rooster pulling. They're pulling much harder.
Rooster,
than
can
you
you
all
tell
are.
anything about the stone?
Hey, great, now that you're here.
The stone, like,
Well, you're not out of the circle. You're just like down
yes,
in front of the
that's
pedestal.
my foot.
can you tell if there's like a way to break it or something like you did with the tower?
Yeah, like a weak point.
That's cool.
Okay.
Not from this distance, but.
I guess I will move closer.
Okay, closer outside the circle or inside the circle?
I guess on like the brink of the circle.
Okay,
Is that close enough?
it's not. I mean, like, how would you hit it from here?
I don't have to be the one to hit it. They're just asking me to look.
That's true. I mean, so it's like I'm trying to.
We already
It's like I'm
said
trying to
that.
look for minute cracks in my refrigerator from here. I'm not gonna be able to see much from here.
I guess if I'm going to the circle, we might as well all go to the circle.
We can get out. Look.
She has her
We
own
don't need
magic
someone to pull
circle.
us out.
Yeah,
Stay out of my bubble.
we're fine.
We don't need to. I mean, you don't need to stay out here to save us. We can get out.
You get out?
For now.
Yeah, I mean, she like bring her hand over and.
Alright, best step into the circle.
Okay. Freya, how about you?
Nope.
No. Okay. Andy, can we? Oh.
Oh, Doug too.
He has Oh no.
I like to think every time he goes in there, he's like, oh.
It's a meeting.
What is this place?
Tell me your secrets.
He's like,
He's
you're probably
like, no.
wondering why I brought you here today.
It's for snuggles.
So?
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
No.
I know I yell at you sometimes because you pee on things, but it's only because you pee on things. But it's only because you pee on things. But
You pee on stuff.
all right, Rooster has entered the circle. You're now able to inspect the stone as close as you like.
Yeah, I don't see any good places to break it.
You really don't. It's
some really weird stone.
Fey made. It's almost like it's magical. Freya, chilling outside the circle. The rest of you inside, looking at the book and reading it. It's cool and stuff.
Yeah, I'm reading through quotes.
You find out a lot of stuff. Interestingly enough, it has his name, his true name. Not Quoth, not Meliorn, but the name of power. Written in Sylvan.
Can you at least write it down?
You could write down the characters, yes. You'd be able to keep that for later.
Okay.
Get somebody that can translate it.
You can come read it.
Freya, do you know what this looks like? You sort of hold it up from the book.
Okay.
Not from the book, but like I sketched it out.
Right. How close are you? Are you like at the edge of the circle? Are you like a waist back from the circle? Okay. Give me some time between now and next session to get you that actual name. That was kind of on the fly. But yes, it is something that you would be able to translate, at least, you know, phonetically. Oh. Yes.
Secret text.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's yeah. So, yeah, remind me between sessions to get you that name. Because it's still in Sylvan in my head. Alright, so 4 of you in the circle, 1 of you not. You've translated the name.
Freya, you should just come in here and read this.
Yeah, there's a
It
bunch
might
of-
help, but like it could be instructions for all we know how to get this thing out of here. If we can't lift it, but we have to take it to her.
Get his face.
I suggest you do it.
Ooh!
Fine.
That would help us.
Ember left us. I'm really hurt by Ember.
He left
We wish
the
she was
oven
here
on.
instead of
I could have in the oven.
You don't know what that is.
My cookies.
It burned down my cottage. And then Tell has PTSD flashbacks.
I step into the circle.
Okay. Alright, with that, all 5 of you appear in the center of the inner court.
Oh, fuck.
Well.
Tim is holding the Chronicle of Bargains in his hands. The entire Sealy court is assembled before you,
Including Horndick.
including Horndick, not including whoever fills the 6th throne to the far right. That's where we'll end our session.
Stubborn.
So, for you not knowing all the things,
Yep.
I was possessed, or no, I was replaced by a fae that you could not tell the difference between, and I had convinced the rest of everybody else to come inside the circle.
And then it
Thankfully, it
happened to
didn't
us
take
too.
much with some people, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, I feel like you and me had it easy. After that, it was hard to.
I was
Yeah, like, why
going
would you
to
go
cast
there?
suggestion on you to bring you into the circle.
Could you do that?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
It's
That's what the
anything,
magic didn't
anything within from the outside.
Oh,
Yeah, I asked because he's like, you can even attack them, and I was like, so thunder wave?
Which was some shenaniganry, which I'm not.
I was thinking about like
The amount of
minor
animals.
illusioning somebody being injured because she would
Mm.
totally come help somebody. But I didn't think the magic
That would
was
have
gonna
worked.
work.
That would have worked. I could have
thought
been.
about
That was one of the things that he asked, and that was why I like had answered it. I could have remembered to do that.
That's why it took us so long. I grilled Corey. What can I do? What can I not do? What can I say? How can I interact with? We tried to pull you all into the circle. It was a contested
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 1.
Basically, if they're 3 total higher than your 2,
Yeah.
then the closest one of you 2 would have been pulled in.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
No.
Not even.
Not even close.
How strong is he?
Not
So-
even close.
Now that we're in, now that we know like what has happened, can I ask about other ways things could have gone?
Yeah.
You love this question.
I know.
Other ways things
It's
could
like
have
a
gone.
puzzle.
You
Before
want
we
to
before we
DM.
get there, let's cut all of this.